I think they'll have an idea now. Okay? Now. No. They really don't know that this is happening yet. You guys should
Oh,
be
no,
getting
they
it.
do.
Lynx is moving in. They get the stun off as well, so he's definitely not going to get picked off, but he does get up Hurricane Pike. He will get Pit of Malice as well. The Lich Alt is going to be able to bounce around a few. Oracle taking way too much damage. That's the Night Stalker with the BKB able to get that pick off for them, but they will pay for it with the Clinks. Ursa moving in. He is taking way too much damage. Is getting rooted up by Despair with the MKB as well, doing way too much damage. The soul release from the Spirit Vessel is still onto that Invoker, so is taking way too much damage. Lina will fall, actually chasing onto the Oracle. Oracle bought back. And now you just lose Roshan.
I mean, that was unfortunate. You know, the Klinks was the one that got initiated on there, and I mean, he's the one that didn't have BKB. So, you know, losing the Klinks initially meant that they didn't have the damage. You know,
I guess it was the same for the Ursa. You shouldn't be fighting if Ursa doesn't have that BKB now.
Yeah, look, I think it would have been alright if, you know, Klinks was there, because, you know, unfortunately, Ursa's not the one that's going to win the fight, right? It's Klinks at this point in the game. So, like,
Ursa's the one who's going to keep the fight going, but they really need to get that Klinks the damage in. If they don't have the damage on him, you kind of should just get damage on Lina and do the same thing, right? Because no one else is going to do it. Except the Night Stalker, but he's busy in the back line.
Yeah, I think they can still fight this, even with the Aegis. I think they are super strong. They've hit strong timings here with those BKBs. And, you know, they have good counters. They have good ways of dealing with some of these heroes. So I think fight into this Aegis. I don't think they need to be that scared.
I guess for them, they just want to get the right pick off, because that is going to be the big thing for them. Lina does get the Cold Snap as well. Soul Release going to be used there. You'll set there, taking way too much damage. Bit of Malice is going to come out, but they do have the BKB. It is going to be used onto the Ursa, but he is not doing any damage right now. Night Stalker is going to use his own BKB, and the pounce is there from the ulti from Lich, is doing way too much damage to his Underlord. He's not going to be able to get out. They do want to send this bear now. Definitely want to get the kill. They don't have the Agnum Scepter. They don't have detection for him either. The disruption is going to be able to save him for now. They want to kill the bear instead, but they will get down the Lone Druid.
They got the bear.
Is going to be used. They got the bear as well. He does summon it up, though. Lich is going to be tanked out, taking all the damage. Klinks now doing way too much damage to him. The Night Stalker is going to come out as well. The Fear is going to be used. They really just need to root up this Klinks, but he's doing way too much damage. The Hurricane is going to be able to. The Tornado is actually going to be able to use them.
No, that's a dieback if this Invoker goes down here.
Deafening Blast. He is going to use Ice Buff, but the Lich, no! And then the stun. This is absolute catastrophe.
Oh man, that's rough. And like I was saying, they don't need to be scared. I think those timings were so strong for them. BKBs on all three of their cores. That is it.
I think the biggest thing, like for me, it felt like they were just baiting with that Lina and getting the bear and them to move up, and then as soon as they hit that Ursa and the Night Stalker just came in with the BKBs. It was like, okay, we're taking this fight over, and it really worked out in their favor, especially getting the Lone Druid down and then getting to kill him again.
Mean, you saw what happened. Like, even though it was Lina that was initiated on, which I think is the hero they don't actually want to be initiated on, the thing is, it wasn't Klinks, right? I think that is so big for them, right? You know, because Klinks...
You did mention that Klinks needs to be doing the damage, and...
I mean, you
he
know,
stayed alive for most of it, so...
Ursa did a lot of damage there, but it's more about him just being there the whole fight and outputting consistent damage. But, you know, Klinks is the one that finishes off Shadow Demon, finishes off Oracle, Invoker, you know.
Lone Druid. I mean, you saw him do so much damage there on the Lone Druid. I guess we're at the stage where the Lich ulti, the bounces as well, does mean a lot, because there isn't a Pipe of Insight or any magic resistance from this dire side. So, like, maybe Underlord should have considered it a bit, dealing with the Lich.
I mean, there's so much physical damage that they need to deal with, though. I think they just got to power through that, unfortunately. You know, I think maybe they can consider like a cloak or a hood on some of their heroes, but, you know, beyond that, I don't know.
The biggest thing is, like we mentioned, they want to fight late game, so I guess it makes sense that they didn't go for the pipe just on that sense alone, I guess. But I really want to push bottom now.
They need to be careful here. Klinks' BKB just came on the courier. Oh, I think Ursa just figured it out. In fact, they're going to initiate into Klinks. Klinks should be able to BKB out of this.
BKB, they do have this. They're going to use the ulti on him as well, so he's dropping very low, doesn't actually use the BKB. The tower is dropping low. Night Stalker going to the back line. They do decide to back off. The Lone Druid is moving in, so you guys probably should just back all the way because the Invoker is in Ghost Warp form. Now there's way too much damage. The Lich ulti, it is going to bounce to get the Underlord as well. This Bear is doing his own set of damage now to the Night Stalker. Will use his Fear as well. The BKB is still up for Ursa, but they will fall. 2-3 heroes just doing way too much damage. Clinks.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm surprised Clinks didn't have to pop the BKB there. I mean, he was very cautious on the trigger finger there. I mean,
yeah, very good discipline from him.
Yeah, I would have certainly popped it there, but I think, you know, he didn't actually need to, looking at it. I mean, you know, where was the follow-up damage onto him? Unfortunately, you know, they had to deal with these other heroes, which was a real challenge for them.
And he knew it as well, right? So they actually pull in this Invoker. The stun is going to miss, however, the Tornado is going to be used, but it's not going to be enough. Invoker cannot buy back. And this is just Rax. Is this just the end of the game? How many buybacks are there?
Oh, there's no buybacks currently. I mean...
They could just end it. But I guess they...
Yeah, ending it seems a bit much. I don't know, because they don't have mana on Clinks, they don't have, like, Night Stalker ulti, it is daytime. But surely the Rax, right? I mean...
They should take this. It's 5 seconds until the Blacking Bar is up for the Ursa again, so Night Stalker obviously does have his up. It doesn't have way too much damage, is taking a lot of damage, and Clinks just solos this tower.
Yeah, I mean, he's sitting with level 20, you know, that... he's got so much attack range. I mean, he can just deso down anything he wants right now. With
I guess
the strafe.
Lone Druid, this is where Lone Druid needs his items still. We sort of... He wanted to be farming, they were at the point where they were farming, and then they threw a lot of it away with losing that bottom fight, so...
And look, I like the draft coming from Meepo Gaming. I just think, you know, the power spike from Invertus just hit them really hard. You know, unfortunately, you know, they needed to withstand it, and they still do. But you know, it's powering through right now. You know, their BKBs are still reasonably high. You know, they are falling down though. Night Stalkers is at 7, and they can't technically get a Roche because they did yoink it earlier. But still,
it was the biggest thing. It went from you winning a Roche fight, winning the full fight, getting 2 pickoffs, technically, it was 3 heroes that you got picked off, and then Night Stalker, Lich actually.
Yeah, I mean, he got Glimmer off, but it just absolutely melted Lich.
Those roots, man.
To your point, yeah, they won a Roche fight, and you know, very convincingly. They got the Roche, they killed a bunch of them. They did buy back on an Oracle, but I mean, yeah, that's not too much, right?
But that was the thing I wanted to mention. They won the fight because there was no BKBs.
Yeah,
and then as soon as the BKBs came on, it was
just... You know, they have to initiate on this Clinks. I don't think there's another way. I mean, you know, it's... And I think Ursa just actually picked up a Satanic, if I'm not mistaken. No, he finished Abyssal, alright.
Yeah.
Oh no, he just brought out a recipe, so he actually doesn't have that Abyssal. Alrighty.
He wants to finish it up, I guess, but... What are they... I guess so the Abyssal Blade is literally just there in order to get that Lone Druid and make sure that he's stuck in one place, because you saw that the hammer alone was not doing as much as like a Spirit Bear root did. So as soon as you get rooted up once, maybe you could just throw out the Abyssal and make sure you can get the Lone Druid, because he doesn't have the Agnum Scepter.
Yeah, look, I think
and he's not going to have it for a while.
Yeah, I think even just, you know, getting the Invoker, you know, finding an Oracle, that kind of stuff's great. That's, I mean, you know, that's game-winning kind of stuff. So, you know, I'm super happy he went for that. But I do think he needs Satanic, right? Because if he gets a full duration Halberd, it negates his Abyssal, technically. Or potentially, rather. Because, you know, the follow-up damage from Lina has actually been playing quite a lot of a part in this. And same with the Clinks, who actually almost has a sheep stick, which is actually quite scary right now for them. You know, the control, getting Abyssal, getting a sheep stick, these things are gonna, you know, be a problem.
Yeah, that's when when Meepo Gaming is gonna be the guys who are controlled up in the middle of the fight, where they were usually the ones doing the control work.
Yeah.
So Force Staff and Glimmer Cape with an Aether Lens on the Shadow Demon. He's definitely not underfarmed or, for a support. He's definitely getting what he needs. This Bear's doing is okay. I mean, you wanted the Assault Cross on the 35 minutes already because you need to be building towards something like Ags or
we see
something
Clinks.
to get.
Oh, look at that damage. I mean, he should be able to BKB out of there. But
does force out the BKB, I guess. But
I think you're right. AC is a bit late, but I think it's such a pivotal item for them in this game. The physical damage output is insane from the side of Invertus here.
It's going to help them still to keep the bear alive. It is probably going to help them a bit to keep the Lone Druid alive once he's in true form as well. So they just... I feel like they're lacking damage, actually. They have so much like spell damage and control that it just seems like if those BKBs are up, the only thing that's dealing the damage really is the Spirit Bear.
100%. But look, that's one of the challenges with the Cross Wex, and is that there's no damage from Invoker right now. He doesn't have like these crazy Sunstrike. How far is he with the Exhort? Yeah, it's only 3 points in Exhort. I mean, he's not going to be able to meteor people down. He can control them, and I suppose Bear does have a lot of damage. But if they're getting initiated,
we've seen a few times though that this tornado, the normal tornado combo goes off, but it just seems like they don't even care.
Right, yeah. I mean, now with the BKBs, it's like, unfortunately, Invoker's game isn't going to be as strong for sure.
Yeah, and I guess that's the thing as well. You kind of want to get these BKBs to be on the 5-second duration timers. The disruption is going to be thrown out. They really want to get this Rax, so is going to be able to lock him down as well. Ursa taking way too much damage. The true form is coming out from this bear. It will actually save him. Lich bounces. He does keep the bear busy, but is this bear going to turn onto this Lich? He actually doesn't, so they're trying to kill the bear, because if they kill the bear, they kill all the damage for the side of the Dire, so... Bit of Malice. This Ursa is dropping very low. Does have the Aegis of the Immortal Night Stalker as well, dropping way too low. He will fall down as well as this Ursa. Ursa is back. The Bit of Malice is going to be used. Does actually stun up the Lina as well. Clinks now the one who has to move away. BKBs runs away.
I mean, that's Megas for you, but a good fight for them, but oof.
Lina, Cold Snap is up, so they definitely still want to chase this. Invoker's seeing if he can get the Lich as well. Probably will. I mean, Clinks is a lot better. Shaco is there. Invoker dropping way too low. That was actually funny to watch, the 4-staff and everything.
Yeah, look, I don't think that this is a challenge for Meepo Gaming. I don't think that we see Clinks is going to go into this Lone Druid. Oh, he gets the sheep off, but the Underlord is there. And in fact, look at that damage from the bear, though. I mean, wow, okay.
The bear and the right click, like Atrophy was at 348. He did a lot of damage. That's hitting like a train right now. Didn't have the BKB, so I guess he probably shouldn't have gone for it. I mean, there's 4 seconds on the BKB, so there was probably around 9-10 seconds left. He should have probably just waited for that. Now, BKB has to be used on the Ursa as well.
Yeah,
that's terrible.
It was the Minotaur Horn, so it wasn't too bad.
Oh, okay, a Minotaur Horn. That's 100% fine then.
Yeah.
So do you still have the fortification? Night Stalker, he is going for this back line. He does still have his BKB. He is going to be able to use it. Now the Ursa jumps in. Is going to be disrupted up. Disarmed. Lich ulti is going to pop. They really just pull in the bear. Pull in the bear, bro. Just get him again. And the Underlord is going to be able to take them away. But the Shadow Demon will fall.
I mean, they get a Clinks buyback from that. So not too bad. Look, they're against Megas, which is... I'm not sure how they deal with this.
Like, Lich doesn't have mana either. I guess if Lich is at the point where he gets, like, the refresher off, they could just push all the way straight, but they still have a pretty good defense, a pretty decent defense. But again, if you kill off the bear, you kill off a lot of damage for them, but the bear is ready to be resummoned, so...
Look, I think you kill all the damage at this point, I think Underlord's potentially the next in line in terms of physical damage output, which is what they need. I think they got the magic damage, but, at this point, they're pretty tanky. these heroes. You know, BKBs, Heaven's Halberds. I mean, there's Lena's sitting with a Heaven's Halberd. You know, 3.1k HP on a Lena. I mean,
What's
that's
this item that's coming out? Oh, Lotus Orb.
ooh.
Is actually going to be used up. Then the stun to follow, obviously. Naturally uses the Abyssal Blade as well. He is silenced the Guna Blade as well. The Disruption, and should be able to save them. The ulti is going to be used here onto the Ursa, but they will go down. They do use the False Promise now. Underlord is still dropping very low. They actually get the pick off onto the Oracle. Now the Lich ulti is going to go down as well. Tornado going to be used. This should kill Ursa. He does fall. Night Stalker is trying to kill this bear. He does kill the bear, but the bear is just resummoned and he will fall. The lone druid.
Oh,
Invoker dropping
man.
very low, and that is going to be GG.
Yeah, GG's been called. Oh man, what a game! I mean, Invertus coming through with the plays. You know, I was a little worried for them when they weren't making the plays, but you know, they hit their power spike and they just didn't let their foot off the gas in that match.
It was the big thing for them there. It just cemented them into that victory. It was like the Ursa and stuff wasn't where they wanted it to be, but it was exactly when they won the fight just in front of their base. They were so far ahead. It just didn't make any sense for Meepo to even continue fighting at that stage. Just get the items up, get the BKBs themselves up. Maybe they would have stood a chance. But a very good itemization actually here from Invertus.
100%. I mean, brilliantly done from them, and I think you know, a very good start to their series. I think, you know, Meepo are going to rethink how this game went. They're going to switch things up. They're going to change what happened, because you know, it is the first game. You know, you're still figuring out each other. There's a lot of work that these teams need to do, but you know, pretty solid game from Invertus.
Yeah, I think this is the point where like the Ursa and the Sven start being highly contested for both these teams because they know that they have to fight the mid game now, because the Inverters showed that they want to do the mid game fights, which is the big meta right now, and Meepo kind of saw that, so they are going, okay, well, you know, we can't do something like the Underlord, we can't do something like Lone Druid, we can't go Spectre Anti-Mage, although Anti-Mage, there is quite a build for him. It's not perfect, but you know, I guess if you're going up against squishy supports, then it's an argument, but definitely not an argument right now in this meta. The argument is going to be the Sven, the Ursa, and the Faceless Void, maybe even the Lycan.
I'm interested to see how they deal with this Clinks. I thought Clinks wasn't a particularly good hero at the moment, but they just proved me wrong. You know, I think, you know, Ursa didn't do too much in the beginning. I mean, Clinks is what pulled them through that mid game. You know, I think same with Night Stalker as well. I think Ursa had a good game, but you know, he was just essentially farming, hitting his timings, and then doing what he needs to do. But this Clinks, and you know, they were so good at prioritizing their backline. I mean, Shadow Demon and Oracle, they just couldn't use their spells. You know, which they were doing in the earlier into the game, which was getting them kills on, you know, whether it was on Clinks or someone. They were even finding the Ursa as well. I mean, we saw that amazing play bottom where they killed someone and rotated top as they all TP'd, and I mean, you know, those were very strong plays. They just couldn't use it to anything.
Yeah, they just didn't capitalize too well on them. And the night, and we mentioned though that the Night Stalker was the big thing with the BKB. But as soon as you have Night Stalker and Clinks there, one of your supports are dying.
If not both. I mean,
yeah, if not both, which is what we saw a few times actually from them. So yeah, and then the itemization again, the Clinks just realizing these guys aren't going to build BKB anytime soon, so we just go for the Scythe of Vice. Underlord, not really a BKB carrier.
Yeah,
like Invoker, obviously situational but not optimal, and then Lone Druid. Not even going to argue. Like, it's definitely not something you want to build on him that early into the game anyway. By the time,
I mean, that's like when you finished up all your other items, kind of deal. Or I mean, you could technically slot it in, but I don't know. They weren't in that kind of a position to do that.
Exactly, and especially if it's on the bear, because then they just focus the Lone Druid himself, and then you're wasting BKB because you need to keep both of them alive essentially before buying the BKB.
Yeah. But you know, I think I thought their draft was good. It certainly looked good in the beginning. I think it feels like they had no physical damage.
It got to the point where Invertus were doing what they wanted to do. It was maybe a bit later. It was maybe a bit after losing while doing exactly what they wanted to do. But once they got it literally came down to those BKBs. Once they got the first BKB up on the Night Stalker, it was already a bit scary for Meepo Gaming. And then when the other two got their BKBs, Meepo Gaming were just realizing, oh well, we can't catch them. We can't chase after them. We can't really neutralize them in the fights until one or two heroes is already dead. So it was difficult for them. I mean, you probably think of the same scenarios when you have something like PL or whatever's playing in your team. You can't really have that sustainable items or those big team fight items that keep you alive in the mid game, because you have these other items and heroes that you need to prioritize and work towards when choosing your items. So that's kind of why most of them have fallen off in the meta, and Inverters are showing why this meta is currently meta. Is just go in, get the items, get the team fight going, get the big items, and just snowball from there.
Yeah, 100%. You know, it's something that I'm interested to see in this next draft. I think they need to rethink potentially, you know, a couple of their own picks, potentially the Oracle and Underlord. I know they're super meta and super good, but it felt like the side of Invertus just knew how to deal with it. Or they got to just take out stuff like Night Stalker and Ursa. And potentially Lena as well, because I think that was a comfort solid pick from them.
Like, I guess you're not banning heroes like that. You're just playing around them in your next draft, because like Oracle is still a very good pickup. Again, we mentioned those nukes that really helped them a lot in the game.
Yeah.
It gave them a bit of an advantage. If he's able to rotate and keep that up in all of the lanes, it's obviously very difficult for anyone to deal with at that stage. So I guess the Oracle could just be played a bit more aggressively, in my opinion. You want to get rid of anything, it's going to be like the Lone Druid. Invoker's still fine. The rest of the draft was actually still doing well, especially from the laning phase. It's just when it gets to the mid game point, the Underlord should have either been on the going for the fighting items or going for the defensive items that's there right in the mid game, right? So you should be going for the Crimson Guards. Maybe, like I mentioned, the Pipe of Insight, because it neutralizes a lot of Lich damage, a lot of Lena damage, neutralizes even a bit from the Night Stalker. So I guess, you know, you should be arguing around those items instead of going for the bigger items. Like, obviously, Shiva's Guard is very good for them, but once they have BKB,
though, right? I don't know if Pipe or Crimson change anything there though.
Yeah, that is true. But I guess if you're arguing for Underlord or why he is meta, it's because of his mid game presence as well.
Look, I mean, yeah, he's such a good aura carrier. You know, Greaves, he goes AC, or he's a good AC carrier. He's a good pipe
carrier as well.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you know, it felt like a game where he just going those items were just not optimal, right? Which is weird, because, you know, those items always feel kind of good, right? But, you know,
yeah, they should be. They should feel on any hero. They feel so good, but
yeah.
Like when you're Underlord and you're on this stage, right? You're going, what am I doing wrong? Because I have all the items. I have the Heaven's Helmet. I have the Shiva's Guard. I even have Lotus Orb, and these guys are still killing us. They're still able to just go in and annihilate our team and just do the damage even through it. And that's where, again, when the argument comes in, maybe we should have gone for something that neutralizes their physical damage or their magical damage a bit more. Like, again, Pipe of Insight was not 100% the correct thing, but you know, in any other lineup that's a bit more magic damaged, you should be arguing those items instead of maybe the items that he went for now. Because if he had the AC, it probably would have changed as well, because then Lone Druid would have something a bit better, a bit different. He would be able to maybe prioritize more damage on the Lone Druid himself, go for the Mjolnir, or, you know, I guess it's very difficult in the scenario, right? But I feel like
thinking, you know, maybe the item choices were right. You know, I think it's such a difficult one in this scenario. Sorry, just need them to set their team name.
Right.
Guys, we will be starting the next match. It is currently 1-0 to Invertus Forte. So we're going to be jumping into the second game shortly. It is a best of 3, guys, in the upper bracket. So yeah, it's gonna be good. And as we were mentioning now, it was a bit of a tough one for Meepo Gaming, but it's just jump into the broadcaster slot. Sorry. Awesome.
Yeah.
So I think the second game is going to be completely different. I don't think Invertus are going to get away with stuff like Night Stalker and Lena potentially. I think Lena was such a good pickup. I think if you get the opportunity, take it out. I don't think they can leave something like that in, because not
That
only
is
is it a flexible pick, but it is a comfort pick from them, clearly. I mean, they kind of picked that hero into what I would think is some of the difficult heroes. Like, you saw how the Lena was dying quite a lot early, but once the game started progressing, it was just doing so much work.
I think a lot of it comes for them. Like if you're banning Lena, you're leaving a lot of other heroes in the pool,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
We did mention the Undying that was still there, the Oracle that was still there in the after the first banning
Yeah,
phases,
that was
the
unfortunately
Rubik
a
that was
bad
still there.
Undying game, though. I mean, Klink's Lena would have just owned him.
Yes, definitely, and destroyed that tombstone. But I get like again for the side of Meepo Gaming, maybe you're looking at Invertus Gaming definitely picking up a bit more meta heroes, showing that there's the Vengeful
Ooh.
Spirit ban, so you definitely kind of thinking, okay, are they going Undying and Drow? Is that what they're looking for? So Meepo Gaming kind of should we be banning Drow now? Should we be banning something
Uh,
like the Oracle? Should we just ban the Undying, because then they ban the Venge, so you ban the Undying, and then obviously the Drow is not too good in the laning phase anymore.
yeah,
And the Oracle is good with it. Oracle does do really well with
I
it
think
though.
you
So
can ban those things out, but maybe in the second phase. I think here they do opt for the Slaughter, which I'm alright with. I think Slaughter is oppressive. Um, and as is tradition, Oracle is picked up. I don't think this hero is ever going to get, he's either going to get banned out or picked in the first phase.
yeah, so Invertus definitely gonna try and show them how to play the Oracle. Like again, last game it should have rotated a bit more, maybe get a bit more aggressive. So I'm hoping Invertus Gaming play it like that.
Yeah.
Meepo Gaming, Rubik is still there. Rubik is a one hero that's very good, right? Right, because of the cause being a lot of physical damage, a lot of melee cause. That's why Rubik is such a good hero to pick up.
Yeah.
He has that null shield and stuff as well. Works really well in his favor. Not too versatile anymore, but he definitely is a good one. Snapfire still in the pool, another hero that we did mention a lot, but it doesn't seem like Meepo Gaming want to go for it unless they go for the Mars Snapfire, which is a good combo, especially when
Um,
working against the Sven.
Look,
Just give Invertus the Sven.
one thing from Meepo Gaming is I want to see less defensive sit-and lane kind of heroes. I want to see, funny enough, we see the Snapfire being picked up. I kind of like that pick as a bit of a flex pick, potentially a mid. Or and we see the Void. Okay, deny pick. I mean, that's a straight up deny pick, right? Because Snapfire Void faces Void.
But
I mean,
but this is the thing though. Like I mentioned, you could pick up the Mars and just be fine with it, because then
yeah.
you're okay. Like Snapfire, and like the Mars deal's quite okay if he's not the one being caught off by the Chronosphere. You
I
could also
mean, with a
obviously
couple braces, he'll be fine for that level 6 chrono.
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
If you're coming up against the Faceless Void again, Invertus really want to go for that mid game fights. So
Look, I
picking
like
up this
Oracle with
Faceless
Spaces
Void.
Void. I thoroughly enjoy that lane because, there's not too many ways of pushing them out of lane because the sustain is always there. The ways
Yeah,
of
it's
dealing
like the
with the
old
lane,
school
yeah.
Spectre Warlock. Like you're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
really gonna push them out of
You're
there.
not going to push them out of lane, yeah. They're not going
They're
to
not
farm
really.
particularly fast, but they will
Yes.
do alright.
Winter
Alrighty.
Wyvern.
I mean, that's a
It's
good...
interesting because I guess we'll see the Yules being picked up for the Winter Wyvern instead of the Silent Stick,
Oh,
but
yeah, for sure. I
I
think
wouldn't
Eels
be
is good this
surprised.
game.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes either way for both of
Um,
those. So
But I kind of like that, right? If someone gets Oracle ulted, you want to Wyvern them. If someone gets Faces Void Chronos, you want to Wyvern the Faces Void. So I think,
yeah,
there's super clutch plays he can do with the ulti, and obviously the heal is pretty good as well.
but then again, drum roll, Faceless Void goes BKB, and then
Yeah.
It gets difficult. It
Look,
gets very
yeah.
difficult.
Look, they have to pick something to deal with this Faces Void. I kind of like Axe here. I think, Axe should get banned here or picked. I really think it should, because not only is it kind of good against Void, but it's amazing against Oracle. It gives them that initiation, lockdown for the Snapfire ulti, obviously good follow-up after the Wyvern ulti. So, I mean, it's got to be a good Axe game. But I think there's quite a few heroes that will actually do well here. I mean, Clockwork getting banned out, I think that would have been a pretty pog hero for Invertus, catching that backline stuff via Wyvern. But yeah, they need something to catch now. I know they have the Faces Void, but he can't always be the one, because then you're just relying on a chrono every single time.
I guess the big thing is asking yourself what core Meepo Gaming want to go for. Is going to be the Ursa or the Sven? Because for them now, okay, they're going for the Magnus ban and the Spectre band. That's pretty weird. Like, that they wouldn't go for the Spectre with the Winter Wyvern and Snapfire.
I mean,
unless they have a good offlaner.
I mean, Spectre's good against Faces Void and Oracle, so I'm alright with that. I don't think it's the best I don't think it matches particularly well with those heroes, but Snapfire and Wyvern. But from the side of Inverters, they're probably just like, our heroes don't want it.
Yeah, it's gonna be the Beastmaster. It's good against. It's annoying against the Faces Void. Like, everyone hates playing against this hero if you're a melee core. So kind of doing the same thing that they wanted to do with the Underlord. Only this Beastmaster can now kill the Oracle or the Faces Void if they're not careful. So very good pickup from them. I want to get back to the Spectre ban, because that Inverters are going for the mid-game fight. You definitely don't want to go with those two supports. You're not going to go Spectre, because you're not creating the space that he needs to farm, really. Like, Snapfire and Winter Wyvern is what you said they shouldn't go for, and it's pretty defensive for the side of Meepo Gaming. So Meepo Gaming,
I think Snapfire and Wyvern are better than Oracle Shadow Demon in my mind.
Yes.
It is slightly more aggressive, and I kind of like it with the Beastmaster, because
if you have the shotgun with the Winter Blast, it's a lot of damage, right?
100%. And I think then with the Beastmaster, they're not kind of locked into this stick in one lane. Beastmaster's gonna want to start doing things. Wyvern, Snapfire as well. They're not as static as those other supports. I think Beastmaster was the perfect pick for them there. I think we spoke about how Faces Void Oracle is such a strong lane, and they won't be able to chase him out. But I think that completely switched that Beastmaster pick, because the damage is damage over time. And he's one that's going to stick onto a Void until he leaps, and
exactly.
it will always be an inefficient leap
the whole time.
Yeah.
And now the Lina pickup actually for Invertus, the comfort pick that you mentioned.
Yeah.
Again, like mentioning that it should probably be banned. I guess that they really know or realize now that we're fighting against these heroes. We should just be building the items to go around it. We should be having our own BKBs. We should be having even Vlads and stuff early up. Speaking about Vlad's, Beastmaster, a very good Vlad's carrier himself as well. So
it's not looking like a good Vlad's build though, because they can't really abuse it on Void Spirit. I think that's rough. Oracle and Lina are going to get destroyed by Void Spirit, but I think they can comfortably say that that's a mid. So they can pick up a mid here. They can potentially win that lane, and then Void Spirit coming from behind isn't the best. It's all right,
Yeah, when he loses the lane, it's not optimal. Again, like maybe even the Ember Spirit is an option for Invertus Forte. It doesn't work too well with the Faces Void, but the other two heroes work really well with him. He's a bit squishy in the beginning of the game.
Beastmaster, and when Void gets Ags, it will probably do well in lane. So I think, to your points about winning lane, I think that is definitely an option. But they need a way of so at the moment they have no frontliner. They have no way of turning around a fight. That's funny enough. The Slaughter ban earlier, I would have said that would be a very strong pickup here. Obviously they'll probably pick a mid though.
Now.
Yeah, well, no, I think they'll pick a mid here. Because they know the Void Spirit will go mid. I think almost certainly.
Oh.
Yeah, so I think that's.
And this could be an offlane or a mid.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, definitely a good pickup. Invertus.
It's a bit tankier, so I'm alright with that. I think it's good damage for them, a bit of control. I think
Viper just does a lot of damage in lane. That's why he's one of the mid heroes, or like when Viper's in a lane, it's very difficult to win the lane. We all know
Yeah.
that, right? So you have to like itemize around it. You have to get extra regen in the lane. So and then even on that, you're struggling to get last hits.
Yeah,
So
look, Void Spirit's gonna have a
defending
hard
that,
lane mid. If they're gonna send that Void Spirit mid, I think he's gonna have a hard lane, which I suspect he will go mid.
he has to. He has
Yeah,
to. Like
but
so, banning out the cores now, banning out the Mars actually for the side of Meepo Gaming. That's I guess okay, but it wouldn't have been the optimal pickup for them.
well,
I
funny enough, it saves you again. Like, let's say Beastmaster roars your void faces void, but your Mars blink saves him with the ulti. That kind of thing. If you know, it's a little bit weird because I don't think they would pick up Mars because they don't see any bigger threat, right? They're still waiting for that POS 1 from Meepo Gaming. So, to go Mars without seeing what their safe laner is a bit tricky.
Yeah, I guess, but Mars is a good offlaner regardless.
Yeah.
I guess just like limiting the pool of good offlaners for Meepo Gaming
And
is still very good for them.
look, technically Invertus have to get something that's tanky here. I think if they don't, they're going to find themselves in trouble. So, banning out stuff like Ursa is fine. I mean, Mars is alright. But there's still a lot in the pool. They've been banning out actually a lot of offlaners here. In fact, I would say all of those heroes could offlane. But oh wow, okay, so they've pretty much gone for a full stack of bans on the offlane. I think that's quite hectic.
What's left? Like Dragon Knight's still left, and Dragon Knight is a very
I don't know.
hero.
I don't know if that. Yeah, Dragon. I mean, they banned
Dragon
out.
Knight going up against the Snapfire and whatever core they pick up now, which is again a very limited pool right now. So I guess I'd be 100% fine with that.
Inverters banned out Ursa, so they almost guaranteed to pick a melee tanky hero. Okay, almost certainly, right? I mean,
yeah, could be like
even like it's such a tricky one because there's so many banned out, but I would have said Slardar and the Night Stalker has still been good. Mars, Centaur, and okay, wow.
Could be Terrorblade though. This could be Terrorblade.
I mean, they pick up Sand King here. I mean,
Sand King.
Yeah. On the side of Inverters.
Sand King.
I mean, it's not tanky. Well, yeah, I suppose it can tank up, but
he's gonna go for the Shivas and the Ags, right? So he has Blink Dagger into Sheep, into Shivas, into Ags, which is fine because they know the only cores that are left are more or less melee cores if they're going toe to toe with this Faceless Void, unless they do pick up the Terrorblade.
I mean, there's no. I suppose they don't need to go Shivas here. I mean, I've seen some Sand Kings even just going like Blink, Greaves.
Running out of time. Like Monkey King, like a lot of arguments here is something as simple as Monkey King, or it is going to be the Medusa safe lane. If you're going up against, but you're going up against Sand King Viper. No, you're going up against Sand King Lina. Again, those two are
they're
not dealing too much damage to the Medusa if you have the shield and everything. So I guess like level 3 onwards, Meepo Gaming really are okay in that lane. So they have to get early damage. You build Diffusal on Faceless Void.
It's going to be a weird one because I think Viper is going to win. I think Viper should just statistically win mid, right? And yes, I think Viper is good against Dusa to a certain extent, but the thing is, Dusa should win her lane, right? Or at least do reasonably well there. So it's like a bit of a weird scenario here. I actually like both these drafts. I don't know how this is going to pan out, but this is a best of 3, and Meepo Gaming are in a position where they have to win this match. So
but they have what they need to win it as well. Yeah. Like, but if they take too long or they don't create the space that Medusa needs, the Faceless Void and the Viper, along with the Sand King with catch, along with the Lina to follow up, along with Oracle is going to catch, and that's going to be very difficult. I guess the BKBs should be going up all round again, like Sand King probably not.
I don't know. You've got the Wyvern ult, you've got the Beastmaster ult. BKBs are seeming a little bit trickier here. you know, I think it is still pretty good. You know, Snapfire is annoying, Wince is annoying, Void Spirit's annoying, so BKBs are probably going to come out on one or two of them at least. I suspect Sand King is going to go like this full tanky build. I suspect, like you mentioned, Ags, he could potentially go Greaves, Lotus, you know, even like a Rod could even be interesting. You know, because they do need catch. You know, they've got, if this Void Spirit goes ham, I mean, Void Spirit goes ham, it's going to be rough for them. You know, Lina, Oracle, they're going to just die out every fight.
And it is going to go rough because as soon as they start chasing the Faceless Void, you have exactly what you mentioned. Beastmaster ult coming down, you have the Winter's Curse coming down, and you have Medusa's Stone Gaze. So this is a very difficult one, but I'm actually going to be able to say I'm on the side of the Medusa just for the simple fact of what I just mentioned. As soon as the team fights start breaking out, it's very difficult because now you're the guys, even with whatever spell immunity you have to turn around and then re-engage.
Yeah.
You are able to do it though. Viper does not need a lot of cooldowns for his ulti, for his abilities. Sand King does not need cooldown for those stuns and doing a bit of damage. You know, it feels to me like Sand King is the hero where his ulti does fall off way too early.
Yeah.
He's not doing too much damage, in my opinion.
But his control is good. You know, I think, you know, once he gets Ags, it's, you know, things like Snapfire, you know, initiating onto a Void, Spirit is what he has to do. He has to do it because, you know, the Chronos aren't going to be always there. You know, and that's why I think Sand King is a kind of a good pick. I just think, you know, they're still squishy. I don't think Sand King, you know, can fill too many roles here.
I guess that was the big thing for why they wanted to pick the Sand King, is because when they saw the Void Spirit, they were like, okay, well, we have the Viper that's winning the lane, and now we have, you know, a lot of initiation and stun for the Void Spirit. But again, Beastmaster and the Stone Gaze, obviously they didn't see the Stone Gaze, but the Winter's Curse alone can really destroy even your chase onto the Void Spirit. And again, if the Void Spirit does go ham, like you said, it's going to be difficult for them.
It's going to be interesting. Look, I think the key pin here is this Viper. You know, he has to, if he loses lane, I think it's going to be an extremely tough game for Invertus.
Like, we know that he's not probably going to lose the lane. It's just when it gets to the point where Void Spirit does still have that silence stick, it's not just annoying to deal with, it's a lot of damage. And he's able to just roam around because he's going to either catch your Sand King or your Lina, and then he's not getting stunned, or at least follow-up stunned. So
it's going to be interesting, you know. I don't know what build do you think. Do you think he's going? I mean, I suspect he's going the magic build, having those double nulls. Or is that just like a transitional early build?
Like, no, for him, definitely it's going to be the mid game. We want to get those poison attacks, want to get those nether toxin damage in as well. So the nulls is definitely is just for the lane. You're not going too much into the physical damage. Like I just mentioned, you want to be able to just do the damage over time with both your abilities and able to get this Void Spirit. Not just the Void Spirit, but it's going to come down to the shield for the Medusa. Even when she does pop the ult, you know, you're still doing damage, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So you really want to make sure that you're always threatening the other team.
We're seeing a bit of an initiation here. Yeah, Oracle just going down there. I mean, they try laning here. I didn't think we'd see this, but you know, I think Deuce is going to have a hard time here then.
Yeah, Arctic Burn with Scatter Blast was always going to be difficult, but now this Lina actually has to start moving away. Does have the Light Strike array. Arctic Burn is not going to be up for a while. The Mystic Snake, however, is. They do pull the lane back for themselves. Sand King is just going to farm it now, though. And this is annoying, because you kind of had both your heroes chasing the lane, and now the Sand King gets it anyway.
Well, the thing is, now Deuce is farming safely here. You know, as opposed to them pulling it over here, and meeting the waves.
Definitely.
You know? So I think, you know, not the best scenario, but definitely helping this Deucer. I was a little worried when Deucer was alone bottom. Oh, Viper going down mid.
That's definitely not what you wanted. Because we did mention Viper's supposed to be winning this, but did get a bit of aggressive actually. 11-0 on him versus the 11-3 now on the Void Spirit. And Void Spirit is now level 3, almost level 4, and the Viper's coming back into lane with only level 3. Has to still chase up.
Yeah. Look, I think Viper should still do alright, but that's a bit of a yikes. But we'll see what they can do. I think Viper farms better than a Faceless Void. Sorry, a Void Spirit.
Yeah, where's this Oracle been though? He's almost level 2 now. Was he stacking somewhere? Doesn't seem like it, so...
Well, I mean, he went down, right?
Yeah.
Initially. Probably walked back to lane as well.
Lina might pay for this with her life. No, is going to be able to make it out safely. Sand King, they do throw down this ward, so you're not going to be too safe in that sandstorm anymore, my friend.
Yeah, and in fact, they're kind of chasing him out of lane here, but we do see the solves coming out. This is a weird one. I think they may need to, when Viper gets 6 or something, they're going to have to do some sort of a rotation.
See, the big thing for Oracle in this lane is farming that range creep, which helps a lot for them. Making sure that someone does get that XP and gold at least. It's not being denied. But I don't know. I feel like you should be doing a bit more aggressive things. However, the Snapfire is dropping a bit low. Void Spirit saying he doesn't want any of it. He has to farm. Void Spirit dropping low in the mid lane. He's almost level 5. And Viper as well. Viper catching up really well. But that is the power of Viper with that level, with that Nether Toxin. He's going to be stunned up now. This Medusa does have the mana shield, but no more life.
I mean, Dusa is actually pretty weak right now, so as much as Sand King can't really pressure that much, but the initiation with the follow-up stun could do enough if she just doesn't have mana.
Speaking of, she's probably going to fly out a few. Is queuing up 1 Enchanted Mango. Doesn't have a lot of mana for more. A lot of gold for more, actually. Mid lane, Void Spirit is running away. You just need more poison attacks. 1 more, 2 more, and that is going to be the 3rd one. He pops the double damage. He wanted to turn and fight, but...
I think he went to the trap bottle there. He needed the HP, but the ticks were just... I mean...
You have the level 3 poison attack, my friend. You're not going to bottle that up. Only thing you're going to bottle up is those tears all the way back in base, because now he has to get back into lane and the Viper is ahead. So despite getting that first kill, Viper still leads the charge, does have that Viper strike now. Could rotate bottom and get a very early kill on the Medusa. There's 31-1 on the Viper, 24-6 on the Faceless, on the Void Spirit.
I think this is kind of what we expected. And it's actually taking the stack from...
Damage. No, Lina is going to throw one more attack onto the Winter Wyvern down the bottom lane.
I mean, that's a kill to this Dusa. And in fact, we're just going to casually pick up these bounties. But not... I mean, Sand King's farming pretty well here.
Yeah, Medusa just needs to be in lane. I guess that was the thing as well. They wanted to give a bit more priority to Lina, or she just wanted to ward there, but wasn't really worth it for her in the end.
Oh man, Sand King just being so aggressive here. I mean, as much as you do pretty much zero damage to Medusa's HP, but if you keep her down on mana, she has to be careful. She can't just be aggressive.
Yeah, that was the big thing that you mentioned, is not being able to be so aggressive because...
we see a fight mid here.
Dropping very low is this Viper. Void Spirit just has to throw out the Resonant Pulse, and he does actually connect onto him. Not enough. He's still chasing. This is the argument where is it worth it or not, and it doesn't seem to be.
Oh, Roshan, you cheeky bugger.
Just said it wasn't really worth it, and then he gets the deny with Roshan as well.
Oh,
so
man.
Very well played from him actually.
Yeah.
But now Illusion Rune is going to be bottled up. So.
The one thing that we haven't spoken too much about is this Beastmaster Void lane. I mean, it's gotten pretty static. I think Beastmaster and them should be a bit more aggressive here. I think they should have lots of kill potential on this Oracle. But I suppose that's...
They try it though, but then there's the Purifying Flame on yourself or on the Void with the Fortune's End, and then you still have to jump from the Time Walk from Faceless Void, and he actually has a level 2 Time Walk, so it doesn't even have 1 Time Dilation level on before level 5, so He's just like, okay, well,
Oh, Viper is in a bit of trouble. Oh no, he's actually out of mana.
he does have 3 bottle stacks though.
Yeah, this is a challenge though. Viper, once this faces Void Spirit, sorry, has a 6. The kill threat is actually super high onto this Viper.
He's probably gonna look to jump again. No, too low.
As we see a Necro Book level 1 coming out to the Beast Master. In fact, we're seeing a bit of initiation here, but the bashes are coming through. They wanted the Oracle. In fact, it looks like... Oh, he actually dodged the...
He's doing way too much damage.
Oh man, but I think... oh, he doesn't have
mana.
mana.
That's enough! What were you doing, Void?
Oh,
Why?
man.
Should not have stayed there. You're taking way too much damage, and that's the annoying thing with the ball, and you still have this Archer, but the Void Spirit does move up. Gets the kill on the Oracle. Has to go back into lane, so Viper's definitely enjoying this, but he can't get the Viper Strike off on the mid lane. With the Dissimulate, you really can't get the Viper Strike off, so it's annoying to lane against the Void Spirit when you know you can't really get your ulti off as a Viper.
I mean, 4 points in your Poison Stings probably enough, maybe to just chase him out of lane though, at least.
Oh, I mean, we say that though, but it hasn't been enough because actually a double damage in this bottle for the Void Spirit. Should he have gone for?
We see a Chrono top here.
And he is going to fall. They actually want to get this Beastmaster as well. Fortune's End is on cooldown, but they do go for the boars anyway. And the boars are 100% fine because not only are you getting gold, you're not being annoyed in lane as much.
We see Deuce has actually been chased out of lane here, or at least deciding to rotate into the jungle. I mean, Deuce should farm up pretty quick, but I got a feeling this tower's going to fall with the Sand King here.
Yeah, they need to. So they probably should have stacked a bit if this was the play. But up top, though, this Beastmaster is dropping very low. Fortune's End is going to come out. They actually picks up this Faceless Void. He has to go down. Lina will be able to stun up both, but they're still able to get the kill. And double damage is on the Void Spirit. He doesn't really have anything to work with, but the Snapfire ulti is going to be there, and it's going to be one more, and the Lina will fall. Very good rotation.
Yeah, very nicely done. And in fact, they're going to lose the stack here. Oof. I mean, this Void Spirit's making the space. I mean, we spoke about if this Void Spirit pops off, it's going to be a different game. It's going to be a very tough game.
I mean, he is like level what on this hero, so it's a very good comfort pick for them, and that is the big reason why it was banned out first game, and we see why it probably should have been banned out again. But now the Boars are chasing onto this Viper. They will use the shout, and then the Void Spirit does come in, does lock down the Viper. It's going to be able to get the kill. Oracle pulls back.
Yeah, you see how these the difference now in this game is that they have more heroes that are mobile, that make plays on the map, and I think that was their issue in game number 1.
Yeah, and the Void Spirit actually just standing here trying to get this rune. Make sure they get it. Sand King might walk up to him. Void Spirit wants to go on mid. It is just the Lina. Is actually going to be able to do it. Doesn't catch the creep. Does actually catch the Lina. That melee creep could have changed everything if it was caught, but very well placed there. Now the stun is going to come up. Beastmaster should fall. Viper wants to chase more. The poison attacks are there. Oracle, get that Fortune's End down, because after that they actually do lock him, but you were able to Viper strike if you did get it, but deciding to back off. Winter Wyvern farming down bottom and Medusa farming out the top.
Yeah, we see Deuces starting to catch up a bit here, has jumped up to 3rd on the net worth, but Viper and Sand King are still having a very strong game. And Sand King actually not opting for any item as yet.
Yeah, they're wasting a bit of time here in mid, as Snapfire actually moves up to try and get a bit of farm. And now moving, seems like they want to go top again. I don't know why all this pinging is coming out on the top lane or in the mid lane.
Yeah, I think they're gonna want to try kill this Void. I mean, Void has gone for Mask of Madness, so he's probably just gonna farm up for a while. And technically they can't leave him either. At some point he is gonna come online, and as we saw in the game number 1, the timings are very important. You can't just yeah.
Yeah, sorry, but both teams getting the keen optic as well. So I guess the supports, like Lina, obviously loves that item. So giving it to the right support's going to change it a bit. Sand King does get the stun off. There's no follow-up from Lina. They do actually have the Winter's Curse up for Winter Wyvern. I say that, but as they use the Arctic Burn, there's no mana. Will probably fall. There's 2 stun, 3 stun, and done.
Oh, as we see top, the Chrono coming out. I'm not sure if they're actually going to try go on anyone here as the Void Spirit is actually there. Oh, he cookied in and goes onto the Oracle. Should just Magic Immune. There we go. Oh, they lose Sand King in bottom lane.
And they lose the Oracle up top. They get the Winter Wyvern for like something, but again, you're not pushing towers. You're actually losing a tower top as well, so...
Yeah, unfortunately, losing that Sand King in bottom was a bit rough. You know, obviously Oracle was probably never getting out of there. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think the timings are from... I mean, we haven't seen what these heroes are going for. We see the Sand King went for a pipe, you know, which I kind of like. You know, he has to fulfill that role of a tank. And I think, you know, there is a lot of magical damage coming out here.
Yeah, it's not just the Snapfire ult, it's the Winter Wyvern. It is the Void Spirit mostly that's why you want to do it. But this boar is chasing down this Lina. Do you have it? Should have enough. Laguna Blade is up though, and you're gonna fall. You probably shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, that was a bit cheeky. We see a bit of initiation here, yeah.
Sand King has have the Sandstorm. They don't want to fight into this because they don't actually see where the Oracle and the Faceless Void is. So, a very disciplined play from the side of Meepo Gaming.
Oh, but they do walk up. Sand King needs to be careful here. Oh, they actually throw into the Viper, the Medusa.
Medusa ult is going to come out. Sand King, he doesn't want to turn yet. He still has that epicenter. False Promise is actually going to come out to try and save the Oracle. He is healing himself up, but he is taking damage as well from the Void Spirit. He's telling everyone they really need to help him, but he will fall. They're looking to get the kill onto the Snapfire. They are going to be able to just heal him up a bit, but not enough. He will fall as well. Yeah. So support for support so far. Void Spirit has to use the Dissimulate to get out, but the Viper Strike is still doing a lot of damage. Well, the poison attacks. Poison attacks. If he walks closer, they could turn. It's so much damage. He still almost died. If he didn't use that, he was going to die. The Winter's Curse is actually going to be used onto the Sand King. He's doing way too much damage from the Lina. Tries to get the stun off. The Dragon Slave to follow up, and it's Beastmaster is not going to fall anytime soon. They do have another Viper Strike, though. If this Void Spirit moves in... Nope. But they will be able to heal up this Viper. And that's definitely what they want. Down bottom, this Faceless Void. Medusa is going to move in to try and just push back that wave.
Looks like they're also committing on this mid though. I think they do need to be a bit careful here, as Void Spirit is not going to be there. And look at the damage coming from Viper, and Lina just yoinks it red, coming with the steal.
That was the thing with like Cold Embrace, right? It's still like you still take full magic damage, and having the Lina.
You know, and Viper's damage is mostly magical damage, right?
Oh, actually a very good stun here, and they will do so much damage with Mortimer's Kisses. Sand King probably will fall, does not fall yet. The Viper is there, can use the Viper Strike. You should probably throw it down onto the Void Spirit. There's no Dissimulate, you know that it's not there, so wants to actually maybe go for this Winter Wyvern, just needs one attack. That Dragon Lance is up.
Looks like Void
could still go for it.
Viper being super aggressive here. I mean...
Yeah, he's either going for this Beastmaster...
I mean, there's
but
no
I guess
role.
It doesn't matter for him right now. They do have a Chronosphere as well, so probably just going on this Beastmaster, he will try and get as much units out as he can, but he actually catches both. And that's going to be...
That's devastating. Yeah, that's a bit rough, you know. Obviously, look, one of the things is Dusa is free farming, but like that, this Viper and Void, they're gonna get. I mean, you know, MKB is coming out soon. You know, and that's
not just that. Like they're taking your tower, they're capitalizing for themselves now, and Void Spirit is trying to do as much damage as possible, but Sand King, so having that Sandstorm protects the tower very well. So they will just move the Faceless Void up top. And the rest of the team moving mid. They actually do use the Eul Scepter. There is going to be Light Strike Array. It doesn't actually catch onto either one of them, so Snapfire will pick up the kill onto that Sand King. Do you have the Sentry Ward? It was in place. Like, they have the Sentry Ward. If this Viper moves up and gets the Viper Strike off on the right here, I guess on anything like Snapfire or even the Winter Wyvern.
Yeah.
Could
I
be
mean,
over for them.
one of the interesting things is Viper's actually got a blink dagger. It's not something we see often on a Viper, but I mean, it's a good way of catching and chasing and continuing those fights and positioning around this Chrono.
I guess that is his biggest thing. They actually do. The Void Spirit does go in. They do have the Light Strike Array. Mortimer's Kisses is coming out, but Cold Embrace not going to be able to save your Void Spirit. Viper taking a lot of damage. They actually just smoke it up.
Yeah.
They want to go for more. They really want to go for more. Does have power treads on strength with this Viper. However, the Viper Strike is not there. They want to get the Beastmaster.
I think they're looking for, I mean, anyone just in this region, but Dusa is just top and farming. As much as they've been, I would say, struggling a bit in these fights. Dusa
down bottom, the blink dagger is going out. The Viper Strike's on cooldown, but the poison attacks are doing a lot of damage. The Roar is going to be there. They should be able to get the pick off on this Viper. Actually, not. All those creeps will die just from the Nether Toxin alone. So, Light Strike Array, you missed.
Oh man.
That was,
I mean,
like, they assumed he ran away, which is perfect, and it was just a very well played from the Beastmaster.
Yeah, look, they forced out Raw. I mean, they weren't really fighting anyone, so they had to just back off and farm anyway. As we see, poor Lina is just absolutely destroyed.
She's just gonna die.
Oh, right. Just snapped by a Miriam, just stealing the kill.
She's definitely not one that can tank that full combo from the Void Spirit.
No, not at all.
And once that Silent Stick comes out, actually going for the Agnum Scepter first.
Yeah,
so
I think that's a good idea. AoE silence, I think a lot of the heroes suffer from silences, Void. In fact, all of them do. I'd say even Viper to an extent suffers from that.
They used Chronosphere top, but they weren't able to. He wasn't able to kill the Medusa because he doesn't have the MKB yet. So it wasn't a defensive Chrono, it was actually an offensive one, and then 2 rotations came in. However, the Viper is going to be able to get the kill on this very
that's a Shadow Amulet on it. That was a glimmer, yeah.
Essential courier, but the courier is actually, where are you going for the Medusa? Oh, wants to go to the secret shop. So they will be able to get the Medusa ult actually onto this Viper, and Oracle is going to be stoned up. Viper taking way too much damage from Mortimer's Kisses as well as the right clicks. Winter's Curse is going to be used as well. Void Spirit wants to catch out. This Viper is going to be able to blink away, but now way too much damage coming out. We'll throw out the Nether Toxin, but will die anyway.
Yeah, that's a bit rough. Ooh.
Sand King. They see you, brother. You have to run. They don't have the Resonant Pulse. They don't have the catch with the Astral Step just yet. The Cookie is going to be able to try and chase him. They do have the Astral Step now, and he will use the Sandstorm, but the dust does not connect onto him.
Yeah, unfortunately not. I mean, they could potentially look for any heroes that are just lurking around here, but they Discipline here coming in, they're just going to back out. I mean, Deuce's on her way to that Skadi, and I
guess they want to kill the Faceless Void now. They're moving on to him. Just takes a Roar, is going to be able to throw out the axes. The time dilation is going to be there. Going to use the Necronomicon. You just need to be able. They bait out actually the walk, and now you've got nothing.
Oh wow! Yeah, so he got absolutely destroyed. But I mean, the rest of the team is following up here.
Yes, going up onto this Void Spirit. We'll be able. There's no Viper Strike used just yet. Nether Toxin does actually go down. Dissimulate is going to be able to save this this Void Spirit, but Beastmaster has to run away. Does get stunned up. There's no Fortune's End. Cookie is going to be able to save him. The Viper Strike's now not going to be used either. Oh, it does actually go out onto this Beastmaster, saying they'll pick that up.
Yeah.
For their troubles of that Faceless Void, but I guess it's not enough because this Medusa is fun.
Yeah, look, a return kill, not too bad. Obviously, Beastmaster, you got to keep him in check as well. He's got that level 3 Necro book. Is going Solar Crest, which I like a lot. I mean, Deuce is going to become absolutely impossible to kill. When he has the Necro book, they start just pushing away from your side of the map. Like, it doesn't even matter where you're warding or where you're standing or trying to get pick-offs. It's just annoying to deal with, and you have double bore the whole time as well. It's one of those heroes that it defends a lane well, it pushes a lane well, it itemizes well because it can do the utils exactly like what you need. So
a very good pickup from them, it seems, because they prove now that this Beastmaster is still very good,
Yeah.
even in this meta.
100%. I thoroughly enjoyed that pick. I think it's very good. Just in terms of items, we see that the Void Spirit is actually going to be getting that ag soon. We see Mech is up on the Snapfire. You know, Skadi on Dusa almost there. You know, so they're reaching some big
On the
timings.
Faceless Void, though.
Oh yeah, that's a big one. In fact, he gets a DD. I mean, this is go time,
That's
right?
even better. And now you have Chronosphere. You're fighting this. You're fighting this right now.
Don't get Winter's Cursed, you know? That's like... I mean, they need to be careful here. The Winter's Curse would have been, so pog there.
They actually forced off this Viper forward. Optic Burn is going to try and move up, but they were perfectly set up and are taking way too much damage from the Sand King as well. Medusa is going to Manta and should be able to run away. They're actually chasing this Void Spirit now. Mortimer's Kisses is going to be there, but it is going to be the Winter's Curse used just to try and get both of them down. I have Skadi is actually on this Medusa, so will fall Viper and now has to run away. Cookie being used to try and chase as well, but not going to be enough.
What a Chrono and a Sand King ulti there. I mean, I'm surprised they lost that fight. I mean, it was very well done coming from Meepo Gaming, but, you know, it was a good initiation, right?
Yeah, they caught like the wrong heroes in that because the Void Spirit and the Medusa was still outside.
Yeah.
And as mentioned, Skadi, Manta style. No, like the Medusa's positioning was probably a bit worse, and they should have gone like fully onto that. But then, as soon as the Manta style came out, it was just, you know, what are you doing then? Because the Stone Gaze goes out, and you can't stand in the team and fight, and then you have the Void Spirit going in the back. Sand King is actually doing a lot of damage here onto this Beastmaster. Laguna Blade was used as well. They do heal up a bit, and they will fall down, but the Medusa is probably going to get the Sand King. They want to get the rest of the damage now on. They do know that the ulti isn't there. Is actually going to use the Glimmer Cape. Lina will fall. Void Spirit once more. Medusa once more as well. They know that Viper Strike is down. Poison Attack is doing a lot, though. The Stone Gaze is up right now, though. And they go on this Viper, and he is stoned up as well. And now a Roar! Enough to get the kill onto Oracle. No buybacks for the side.
Yeah, that's a bit rough. I mean, they're going to continue going here. I mean, why not? They almost have...
They have Sand King and Faceless Void do have buybacks, but the Sand King is going to be back in 8 seconds, so...
I mean, no Chrono, unfortunately. Lina will be back as well, so... They probably won't lose here, but, you know, at this point in the game, I mean, you know, you're up against Dusa, right? And you know, you just lost your Midrax.
So they want to push bottom lane next, and Lina actually TP's in. Lina's items is Aether Lens still. Optic Burn is going to be used. Void Spirit combos there. And that's that.
You know, unfortunately, we spoke about this. You know, Lina is a bit of food for Void at this stage, right?
Yeah, game 1 she did a lot though, but this game definitely not the case.
Well, there's a lot more ways they can jump onto the heroes. They're a lot more aggressive, you know, with this Void Spirit, you know, Beastmaster, Snap. I mean, we've also seen some good Wyvern ultis that have just set up perfectly. I mean, you know, as we said, it's good against the Chrono. Very good. I can't remember how they stopped the previous one. I think they roared him in the Chrono, but
he needs his BKB, right? But even if he has BKB, Roar goes through it. The Winter's Curse is still there. Maybe the Void was not optimal pickup for them. It definitely seemed like the right hero, but this Void Spirit now actually is going to be able to draw out the Chronosphere. He does still have the sim. No, once again the sim, he will fall. Does buyback immediately. He's just tired of them. Medusa ult does go down. Oracle does pay for it. Viper taking way too much damage now. Lina is actually going to be stunned up. They still have the Scatter Blast. I wanted to say the Sand King is going to be able to get the stun off of them. Now Faceless Void wants to get in onto this damage. Medusa, your shield is down, but he is doing a lot of damage. Sand King will fall. Light Strike Array does get the stun off. Just needs maybe a bit more, and it is going to be enough now with that Dragon Slave. So Still getting the kill. They're still chasing for more. Actually wants to go on the Beastmaster. Will not be able to make it. Double damage is on the Void Spirit. Is going to be able to get the Lina. And it's so annoying. Not get the Lina. Actually,
he's actually out of charges right now. 2 seconds and he's got the jump.
Astral Step. But they do have the jump from themselves as well. The Light Strike Array. It is going to be able to connect. Lina dropping way too low. But they just need to be able to stun him up a bit more. Dissimulate. He doesn't actually choose to jump to the Lina. He just wants to get out.
Oh, look at the range on that stun. I mean,
that's Aether Lens for you. And
Lina, I don't know how Lina is alive. That was insane.
Exactly. He probably should have just jumped to the Lina and said, "Okay, you're not gonna Light Strike Array again. Light Strike Array me again, and then just get the pick off." But
Viper
will fall for it. Was pushing a bit greedy for him actually.
Look, that's pretty good. Look, Invertus are in a tough scenario. Like, don't get me wrong, but you know, getting the Deucer, getting a double kill onto the Void Spirit, basically because he bought back, basically dieback. You know, that's a good way to come back into this game.
It's exactly what they needed. Now they just need to make sure they get the damage as well. The Roar is going to be there. The Winter's Curse will probably follow up because they do need a Time Walk, but the False Promise is going to be able to save him. They are going to be able to burn a lot of health. And Mortimer's Kisses thrown out randomly?
Yeah, look, that was unfortunate, and they don't have Chrono, but they are chasing. They know there's no Void Spirit and no Deucer, so they can potentially do this.
He is just going to Time Walk again, and if anything happens, he's going to BKB, so you just need to accept your fate. Light Strike Array does come out. They still have the Laguna Blade. They probably could have gone for more, but the Medusa is pushing up top.
Has actually got that butterfly. I mean, they have an MKB, and looks like they are going to be going onto him. Yeah, just
gets the stun, yeah.
But there should be a lot of blinks following up here. Yeah, we see the Viper coming forward. Should be force stuffing, but look how fast Tusa is with that, you know, Stone Gaze and the butterfly. I mean, there's no catching that.
Fortune's End. You could still get him. You could still get him. Just turn. Just turn. Just go. Nope. They decide to back out. I guess it's better for them because they know the Void Spirit is up.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a Wyvern ulti there sitting behind him. You know, obviously Void Spirit is popping off a bit.
I really wanted to see him just go for it, but I guess it was the better play for them.
Yeah. Look, I think, you know, one of the challenges being in this position for Invertus is, you know, one good fight from Meepo Gaming, and, you know, it's probably GG.
Like, Medusa's not building BKB, so if the Sand King does build the Yule Scepter, he's bringing more than enough time for his team to follow up stun with Light Strike Arrays and all of that.
Yeah,
I guess that's probably an item he should have considered earlier, and maybe could still be considering. Get the ulti not off, but the combo is there from this Void Spirit. However, the Sand King does move in. There is going to be the double stun. They do use the rest of their abilities on him. Medusa taking way too much damage now, but the Winter's Curse is going to be there. Laguna Blade also thrown out on Medusa, so does just turn around. The Void Spirit is going to be able to catch out this Faceless Void. Lina dropping low, Oracle dropping low. There was no False Promise used. So Faceless Void buys back. Wouldn't be surprised if Oracle buys back either. Bottom lane is pushing in. This Beastmaster, too many creeps, does have that Necronomicon up in 10 seconds, so...
Unfortunately, it's a creep. Oh man.
He wanted to get the combo off of the blink, but he was already close enough. He probably just should have gone for it.
I think it's probably best that they didn't actually do that, because I think they would have been there in time to turn that around. Even if Beastmaster died, they probably would have lost the Viper. You know, and at this stage, losing the Viper probably means high ground.
I'm just trying to tilt this team now. Time Walk is going to be there, but the silence as well, and this Void... There's no buyback. There's so much cooldown for him, but the Void Spirit is not for him. Manta Style is still up on this Medusa, doing a lot of damage onto the racks. The Sand King does try and stun, but he will get stunned up himself. The Mortimer's Kiss is coming out to follow as well. Medusa is going to use the ult, and the Viper will fall, and this should be GG.
Yeah, unfortunately, like we were saying earlier, is, you know, one good fight from Meepo Gaming, and you're in trouble, as we see they're finishing up poor Lina, and yeah, I mean, they can go for it.
Did not mean a lot for them in this game, right? So she did well laning phase, and it is a very good pickup for them. Like, but later on, didn't turn out too well for them.
Yeah, I think Lina was good. I think Nino was good, but you know, I think Meepo Gaming had a more aggressive draft here, and I think that's what paid off for them there.
Yeah, definitely. Not just the like aggressive draft. It was having that Medusa as well for the late game, for the mid late game, because Medusa proves that Manta Style and Skadi is all she needs to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, and look, you know, it was a last pick Dusa, so that you know, as much as they did have, you know, a Viper and stuff, they didn't have good ways of dealing with Dusa, and you know, if the like the Void did pop off in that game, the Void Spirit, it meant that the space was there. Dusa was farming lanes while they were team fighting elsewhere, you know, and they were going all right.
The other thing for me though was a bit of misuse on the Chronosphere, especially when it was on the top lane, and then when they had the fight down bottom of the tier 2. I think when the just before the tier 1 fell or after the tier 1 fell, they also had a Chronosphere, and it didn't go too well for them. And again, the mid one was the biggest one, right? Because the Void Spirit was just the one annihilating your back line, and you were just hammering away at heroes that didn't seem like they wanted to die anytime soon, because you were hitting Medusa illusions.
Yeah, look, you know, I think from game one to game two, I think it was like a complete shift from the side of Meepo Gaming. You know, I think from the side of Invertus, though, looking at this game three now, because it is 1-1, they're going to have to. I think they just got to stick to what they did in game one, ban out the Void Spirit. You know, I can't remember what they banned out with the Void Spirit, but maybe just revert the bans back to what they were. Because I know they
Yeah.
changed their bans, and that I think that just you know set them up to be in a weird position, right? You know, the Void Spirit is absolutely insane. I mean, we know the guy's got like an 80% win rate on the hero. You know, he was in a bad matchup and he actually got the first kill in that lane, which I thought was really difficult. I didn't even see it, but that is a bit of a rough one.
Like when you're level 2, level 3, and you did do a lot of damage, like with like your abilities alone on the Viper, you're still standing a good chance, right? Because he's not that tanky that early into the game. That being said, as soon as he came back, he was able to dish out a lot of damage because of those normal poison attacks on you. So I'm thinking that maybe he ran a bit out of mana, which is something that does happen with Viper, which is why he's not the optimal pick, is because he does run out of mana very soon in the early game, and then once he gets pounced, it's very difficult to deal with. He also had the Nether Toxin, which did eat through the mana as well. So I guess the Void Spirit was just sort of playing around that. And as soon as the Viper came back, he just said, well, I'm just taking this again.
Yeah. Look, it's an interesting one, and I think you know from Invertus' side, I think they just need to not even think about it. You know, it's got to go. You know, as much as Viper still, I would say, did actually win the lane. You know, once he got 6, you know, Void Spirit didn't need to be mid. You know, where Viper it was a challenge because Viper had to keep moving. You know, had to follow around this Void Spirit. You know, to kind of offset the damage he was doing.
Yeah, another thing is when they started moving the Medusa up top lane, and Medusa was then against the Faceless Void, and the Faceless Void's like, okay, I need farm, but this Medusa is just super annoying, getting all the farm she needs, doing damage to me while I'm trying to farm, and now I have to use my Time Walk just to be able to get a last hit, and it kind of also made it a bit difficult for the Faceless Void to just get back or just keep up the tempo that he had. And I guess he should have rotated down bottom, but bottom was very contested at that stage as well. So I guess for me, it comes down to the fact that they were able to keep up with the Dire team and then able to capitalize with their advantage on the Medusa, making sure that when she did get the farm, did get the Manta style, and especially that big Eye of Skadi, they just annihilated them. And the big thing I did say was, even though you did get the initiation off, once that Medusa ult comes out, you have to turn around and then reinitiate, but you already used stuff like Viper Strike, and now you kind of hoping on the Chronosphere. Chronosphere lands, but this hero is already a bit tanky just from Manta style alone, and it's very annoying for them to deal with because MKB was alone not enough damage to just kill off anything that's in the Chronosphere unless it was that Snapfire or maybe Beastmaster.
Yeah, 100%. You know, one of the challenging things is, I wasn't a huge fan of the Sand I think it did well, but it's not one of those heroes that's gonna sit and tank a bunch of stuff. I don't know if you saw in that game, it was the Viper that was tanking everything. And as much as Viper does have some tanky elements to the hero, it's not the hero to do it, right? In their lineup.
Yeah, I
And
think that was the
Sand
next point.
King's yeah, Sand King's sitting back and waiting for initiations and like counter initiations and stuff. So I mean, I don't know what was left in the pool. There were a lot of offlane heroes banned out, but maybe they could have gone for something a bit different.
Like I said, like even having like a simple Pangolier there could have changed a lot. Having a hero that could go for the tanky items. I mean, the Dragon Knight
Well,
was there. Dragon Knight's a
Pango can't
safe
really
pick.
do that because Pango would still need to hang in the back lines, right? You know.
But you always have, like, I always see Pangolier as this hero fighting as, like, not even as soon as the initiation is there, he's just sort of immediately in the fight once it starts as well. He doesn't really need to start with like Rolling Boulder or
Yeah.
he could do a normal swashbuckle, and even on something like the Medusa, it's a lot of damage, to the mana as well. And then you could follow up with the Chronosphere, throw down the Nether Toxin right on the Medusa. That was kind of the thing that they probably were going for or wanting to have when the team fights happened, and then it just never played out like that for them, because the Void Spirit was there harassing whoever or just keeping the Viper busy. And then again, like, the Sand King was probably not the optimal thing. I'd say, like, again, Dragonite is a very safe pick for mid and off lane. People don't generally go for it or tend to go for it because it's sort of a boring hero, if you could put it that
Yeah.
way. But yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Just there is another lobby up. The teams are actually ready. So if you just want to jump in quick.
Yeah. So I just spoke to the guys. I'm gonna have to go for game number 3,
All right.
but it was really awesome. I really hope the best team wins. Both teams have really shown what they are capable of in this matchup. So you're banning out the Void Spirit first, hands down, but then after that, there's still going to be so much in the pool to work with. So I really hope both these teams bring their all in this game 3, because it is going to be their upper bracket life at stake right now.
Yeah, 100%. It's going to be an interesting one. Thanks for casting those matches with me. I'll certainly let you know how it goes, or you can just drop a buy in the Twitch stream. I will take this last game, guys. We're just busy sorting out the lobby quickly.
All right, awesome. Thanks a lot, guys, and may the best team win.
Awesome. Thanks, Fire. Alrighty, guys. Sorry, we are going to start the game shortly. We are just waiting. We're just sorting out the lobby quickly. There does seem to be an issue with the side selection. Alrighty, let's get it underway. It is currently 1-1 in this best of 3, guys, so it is getting up to almost the end of this action here. Whoever wins this is going to take the series and continue their upper bracket run. We do see that Invertus did win the coin toss. They've chosen second pick. Meepo Gaming have gone for Radiant. So we're going to be jumping into that action right now. Awesome stuff. The teams are jumping into it. So yeah, so we currently sitting at 1-1. Not much between these two teams. Invertus taking game 1, Meepo Gaming taking game 2. So everything on the line here. We'll see what they can do. I think it's gonna be interesting. I think both teams have showed that they can get some crazy drafts going, have some solid landing phases, and obviously just clutch out these games. So I think Invertus are a bit on the back foot here. They've got to sort things out. They've got to figure out how they're going to deal with these things like Cadusa, Void Spirit, Snapfire, Winter. Those heroes were super annoying in the previous game. So let's see what they can do. Alrighty, we're seeing a couple standard bans coming out here. The Tide Hunter being banned out for the third game in a row. I'm not 100% sure as to why, but certainly not wanting to give them that pick. I think, you know, if it is a comfort pick for Invertus, very good choice to ban it out. But I think Invertus are going to rethink what they were banning. I think Meepo Gaming might stick to their guns as we see the Beastmaster getting banned out. I don't blame them. That hero is super annoying and did so much work last game. Alrighty, let's see if Meepo Gaming stick to their bans. They could look at banning out something from the previous game, but I can't think of anything that was too annoying. Maybe the Lina, but we'll see. You know, they obviously managed to deal with it last game, so maybe not worth the ban right now.
Oh, dire team ban!
Sorry, guys. Let me just edit this. Alrighty, we see the Underlord getting banned out. Pretty standard ban. I don't know. We saw the Underlord in the first game. Not 100% sure if it worked out too well. So, but Meepo Gaming deciding they're not going to face it, and then we see the Void Spirit being banned out. I think Invertus had to ban it out. I don't think there was a way around that. And we see the Grimstroke coming out. That's an interesting one. Very, very popular hero in this tournament. We've seen teams deal with it, as we see the Aber coming out. That's a pretty strong hero. Very good at stopping a couple of the stuns, debuffs, you know, all that kind of jazz.
Oh man, Rick, there's only 10 seconds left to pick a hero.
Alrighty, let's see what they combo with this Grimstroke. There's still a Lich in the pool. There's Pugna in the pool. There's a couple things they can combo with that. Not 100% sure what they're going to go with. They're obviously, from a core perspective, there's still a Ricky, there's still a Juggernaut. They could potentially put in the off lane with something like a Centaur, Slardar, something super aggressive like that. So very open from Meepo Gaming. I think Invertus will probably put that Aber safe lane. I've seen some off lane Abbas, Pos 4 Abbas, but you know, those are very situational. So I suspect a Pos 5 Aber coming through. Alrighty, they're gonna go with the Clockwork. Okay, that's a hero that got banned out in the last game by Meepo Gaming, actually. I think it's good. And obviously, the synergy-wise with Grimstroke, not so much there. Against Aber, it's alright. You know, obviously, Aber can't debuff any of that stuff except for the Clock Hook. But, you know, you're gonna have Battery Assault, so I think it's not a bad pickup against Aber.
You better pick your hero. 5 seconds.
But, you know, it's a bit early. Obviously, Invertus can go for stuff that can deal with that. You know, have some saves, potentially, for the heroes that get cogged. Or potentially some escapes. Alrighty, it looks like their Inverters are running into their overtime here quite a bit. I'm also sitting here thinking of what they could potentially go. I think Lina might be a bit of a struggle this game, so maybe just avoiding that hero a bit.
Radiant team ban.
Alrighty, we see the Tusk coming out. I like this hero a lot. Good save. They've got a lot of good save on Inverters right now. I mean, you know, Snowball, Shield. I think Tusk is a good hero against Grimstroke and potentially Clockwork. But you know, so I think that commits to a bit of what I was saying earlier. Aber will be that Pos 5 with a Tusk Pos 4. We actually saw a core Tusk the other day, which is quite interesting. But I don't think the teams are going to pull out that kind of stuff in this game 3 of this best of 3 between, you know, two top teams in this top bracket, elite bracket. As we see, Drow gets banned out, pretty good. I think, you know, Clockwork is kind of good against Drow to an extent, but
10 seconds to pick your hero.
I think Drow's just too good in this meta. As we've seen, it's actually been banned out in all the previous games. So now all 3 games.
Radiant team ban.
Alrighty, we see Lone Druid getting banned out. Maybe could have left it in. I think it was a hero that, you know, struggled in game number 1. But I understand it. You know, they don't have a way of dealing with Lone Druid this game. They're probably not going to get Ursa. Sven's been banned out. You know, those calls are running out. There is still the Faceless Void. There is still the Spectre. There is still TB. So some good calls still in the pool. Ursa's in the pool. So we'll see what they go with.
Radiant team ban.
As we see Storm Spirit being banned out. Not too bad. They don't have a lot of catch right now.
Oh man, Rick, there's only 10 seconds left to pick a hero. 5 seconds, Morty. It'll be fine. Oh, dire team
Alrighty, we see the Magnus being banned out. That's alright. I think, you know, Magnus is an annoying hero. Potentially plays 3 mid. You know, even as support, it's been quite crazy. Obviously, they wouldn't pick it as support, having Abba and Tusk already. But that's been a consistent ban. I think Meepo Gaming have been banning it out consistently in all 3 games as well. You know, funny enough, Sven hasn't been banned by them, if I'm not mistaken. As we see Void being banned out for the side of Invertus. They technically don't have saves for the Void, so I like to see that hero being banned out.
You really gotta pick a hero. You got 10 seconds left.
Alrighty, they don't have too much time here. They have burned through quite a lot of their reserve time, so I suspect they're going to pick up something, probably a POS 3. I don't suspect they're going to show their POS 1 or 2 right now. But there's a lot in terms of the POS 3. They could go for, I mean, they're going to probably pair with a Tusk, so they're probably going to want something potentially that is slightly more aggressive. So we'll see what they go for here. I mean, they could even go for something like a cheeky puck. They could go for something, a Snapfire. Okay. I mean, I like that against... Ooh, yeah, it's a bit of a hit and a miss against Clockwork. Obviously, you can Mortimer Kisses into the cogs, but you can also get hookshotted while you're Mortimer Kissing. So that is a bit of a challenge. But overall, good hero. Good burst damage for heroes like Grimstroke. I suspect they won't go Ags unless it's a mid-snap, but I think mid-snap might be a bit of a challenge. I got a feeling this is a POS 3 Snapfire. Ooh, I don't know what Meepo Gaming go here. I mean, they're probably going to show their POS 3 here as well. And this, I mean, Clockwork could potentially be a POS 3. I think it's, you know, it's kind of good against all 3 of their heroes right now. In terms of animations, I think Tusk is probably their better hero against Clockwork and Grim. Obviously, the save against almost all of their skills is there. But we'll see. I mean, they could potentially look at something like an Ursa. Ursa could do well against their heroes. They're all melee. They're mostly strength. But we'll see what they decide to do. Obviously, something like a Wraith King could work. We haven't seen too much of Wraith King, and yeah, I don't think it's that great. Obviously, the saves from the stuns, and obviously the damage is there as well.
Come on, dire team, pick it good.
Alrighty, whoa, okay, we're gonna see some Enigma plays, we're gonna see some black holes. This is gonna be crazy, guys. I'm gonna be right back, guys. I just need to run to the bathroom. Just give me a couple seconds.
Oh man, Rick, there's only 10 seconds left to pick a hero. Yeah, 5 seconds left now.
Alrighty, I'm back just in time for the pick. We see Invoker coming out. I mean, I like that. It's good against Clock, Enigma. Obviously, can be useful against Grimstroke. So yeah, I think that's a good pickup. We'll see what they... Obviously, they can get countered now in mid. I mean, he's probably going Quas Wex. But I think he's going to be missing some damage. I think they're going to be missing quite a bit of damage here. Obviously, there's a bit of magic, but your physical damage is certainly going to be lacking.
Radiant team ban.
Alrighty, we see Mirana. This is some crazy picks coming from Meepo Gaming right now. Some stuff I did not expect.
Team ban.
I mean, Clockwork, Grimstroke, expected that. I think Enigma, Mirana, those are two heroes I did not expect. Oh man. But again, I think Mirana is good. It's a good roaming hero. I think they're gonna have a challenge in their off lane though. How is this laning gonna work? Is that a core Mirana? It's got to be a core Clockwork, pos 5 Grim, pos 4 Enigma, pos 2 Mirana. As we see Zeus getting banned out, Zeus can be an annoying hero. I'm not sure they're gonna. I think they're gonna go for a core here, right? Surely. I mean, they're certainly bringing out all the crazy stuff right now in this last match. As we see a PA gets banned out. I think a good hero to ban out. Obviously, they don't have ways of dealing with that too well. But yeah, I don't know how these lanes are going to work. And I mean, they're banning out Zeus and Juggernaut I like. Obviously, he has Spin. The Omni Slash absolutely will destroy Mirana and Enigma to that point.
Oh man, Rick, there's only 10 seconds left to pick a hero. You better pick your hero. Pick him 5 seconds.
Alrighty, it looks like Anti-Mage is going to get banned out. I think that's pretty good. Obviously, all these heroes are very mana dependent. You
really got to pick a hero. You got 10 seconds left.
Alrighty, running out of time here. They got to pick something, or they're going to random. Okay, they got 8 seconds now. 5, 4. Okay, they get the pick off, and they go for Lifesteal. I kind of like that. Obviously, these are strength heroes. I think it fills a similar role as to Ursa. Obviously, Lifesteal are kind of better. You can deal with the Deafening Blast. You can get through all the slows, and yeah, I kind of like that pick. It's your physical damage dealer as well. So I definitely think this Mirana is going mid now.
5 seconds, Morty.
You know, off-lane Enigma with Clockwork, safe lane Lifestealer with Grimstroke. Obviously, very good Inkswell target. But I think Tusk should be somewhat able to deal with that. He can snowball off the opening wounds. He can snowball off the Inkswell. And we see Slark coming out. Wow, okay. I mean, I think Black Hole is good against Slark, but Slark is good against Lifestealer. And Mirana to that fact. And has a good way of getting out of cogs. So I'm a huge fan of both of these lineups. I mean, they are crazy right now. Alrighty, let's see what we got here, guys. They are going to be jumping into this match. It is going to be the final match of this best of 3. These teams are currently 1-1, so everything is on the line right now. Alrighty, it looks like we're just waiting for the teams to get into this game. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. We're going to see some black holes. We're going to see some crazy saves. I honestly don't know who has an advantage here. I think these are both very aggressive lineups. I think this Invoker pickup is very interesting. I think it can be very clutch. I just think Invoker is in a weird position as a hero at the moment. So we'll see what happens there. as we jump into this game, guys, it is going to be interesting. You know, it's going to be the mid Mirana, so I think that's pretty good. We'll see where this Enigma is going to be potentially be that pos 3, so it's going to be a bit more of a core. Just flexing a bit there with his crazy noises. Alrighty. Yeah, so it looks like Tusk support, mid invoker, offlane snap. So snap's going to be interesting. I'm not sure what build snap is going to go for. I suspect it will be quite a tanky build, at least. You know, potentially going that Ags. You know, you can shoot a Slark at someone. Shooting Abba is probably alright. Even Tusk, to that effect, could be good. Obviously, it is a good saving mechanic, kind of. I suppose you can eat your teammate and throw him out of there if things get a bit dire. But yeah, I mean, you know, the other team's going to have an infested lifestealer in potentially a Blink BKB Enigma or a Clockwork Hook. You know, those are going to be wild. So I'm not sure how this is going to pan out, but certainly interesting drafts coming from these two teams. For those of you wondering, unfortunately, Fire had to leave, so he's unable to cast this third match. But yeah, it is a best of 3. It's currently 1-1. These teams are in the upper bracket for this event, so it is going to be crazy. I mean, everything's on the line here for these guys. Alrighty, we see Abba just disconnecting. Seems like Invertus are having a few issues with their side. But one of the things I didn't speak to too much was this Slark pick. I think it's super good against a couple of their heroes. I think if he can get potentially that, potentially Echo Saber Basher or Diff-Blade, you know, he can absolutely wreck a Mirana. You know, he's going to be good against the Lifestealer. He will need probably BKB, I suspect. Though they actually don't have a lot of reliable stuns on the side of Meepo Gaming. And I suppose on the same coin, I think, I suppose Inverters have a reasonable amount. Snowball, Cookie, Invoker with all his repertoire of skills. Oh, man.
One of my favorites.
Nicely done.
They're just having a bit of a conversation here with these chat wheels. But yeah, this is going to be interesting. Look, Mirana mid I haven't seen in a long time. I know Meow is a very good player, so he should come with the plays. But he's up against an Invoker, which is kind of interesting. I think, let's see if Invoker actually picked a... Yeah, he's going Exhort. Okay, wow. I mean, that's interesting. I mean, that's quite greedy, but I think you can get away with it. I think Quas Wex would have been a bit of a challenge. They would have lacked damage, you know, because Slark isn't the best damage dealer. You know, he wants to dip and dodge and the 5Ds of dodgeball, right? You know, that's Slark in a nutshell. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. We'll see. You know, he's gonna deal damage over time. He's gonna want to take these long, drawn out, open area fights. You know, so Invoker having Exhort sorts out their damage, and kind of good against Mirana actually. You know, Mirana doesn't have the best damage, you know, early on. And I don't think there's going to be a huge amount of harass on the Invoker too early on. You know, he's obviously going to be able to, you know, stand at range, because, you know, obviously Mirana, to deal damage to Invoker, is going to have to stand in the wave. So Invoker with the Exhort should be able to output and win those trades, potentially. I think, you know, if he gets arrowed, you know, that's a whole different ball game. Alrighty, it looks like we're underway, guys. And I think, you know, these lanes should be alright. I think Tusk is going to be an interesting one. I think Clock's going to be an interesting one. I think, you know, obviously Slark in the lane with an Enigma, that's going to be super annoying because he's just going to eat every single range creep. So I think Abba's going to have to do a lot of pulling, yeah. And another thing I didn't speak to as well is Abba can just shield off every single arrow if he can. So we'll see if Good Boy is actually going to be a good boy and just debuff all those arrows. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. We'll see if Invertus actually picked a... Yeah, he's going Exhort. Okay, wow. I mean, that's interesting. If Invoker actually picked a... Yeah, he's going Exhort. Okay, wow. But yeah, obviously Mirana is a mid Mirana, so it's not relying on those arrows to 100%.
Game starts, Rick. I'm getting my things ready, Morty.
This is a paradox.
But this is interesting. We haven't seen a couple of these heroes. We knew it was going to happen in these matches. You know, they're best of threes, and this one is 1-1. So everything on the line here. I do. Oh, Abba, you cheeky fella! He's going to go and yoink this bounty, and that's 3 bounties going to Invertus. Very nicely done. But he is actually just running into their side of the map here. I mean, he can TP right now. He can probably TP. Yeah, there we go. As we see the normal standard things happening here, Enigma eating the range creep, and I think they can even cogs it in if they. Oh, okay, they went battery assault. I think that's fine, you know. We sometimes see the cogs coming out just to control the wave, but you have Enigma, right? So you don't need to do that too much. As we see, oh, the Sunstrike coming in for the range creep, and actually connecting onto Mirana there as well. So a bit of a cheeky plays coming through. I think bottom lane's going to be a bit tough. You know, killing a lifestealer is going to be tricky, especially when he's up against a strength hero like Snapfire.
You have no right.
Alrighty, we see a couple denies coming through. It looks like a mid will be a bit even here. They are just going to arrow the range creep there. Oh, and we see Slark actually going for Dark Pack level 1. Looks like he wants to max that out, deal with all those Eidolons, and he is going to shove the wave, but I think he needs to, right? Because, you know, they're gonna have to pull all the time, because, you know, obviously Enigma is just going to eat the range creep. I mean, he can do it right now. Yeah, there you go. Oh, we see First Blood red on the Tusk. Actually picks up the Grimstroke. I'm not sure how that happened. Cookie and what's his name coming out. Very nicely done from him. Alrighty. So some interesting plays. Looks like they are going into Abba. I mean, sorry, Abba is going onto the Enigma. He does have his Curse of Avernus, which is quite interesting. That gives him a lot of kill potential. I kind of like that against heroes that don't have good ways of escape. And I mean, we see the Essence Shift coming out, and obviously the slow is just going to absolutely allow Slark to pop off with those stacks. As we see a bit of initiation here, they're going on to red, but unfortunately, yeah, they don't have the damage right now, and obviously Snowball should be up. Okay, he's gone for shards. You know, shards is alright. It gives them kill potential on this Grimstroke. As we see, he's gonna, yeah, there we go. He's gonna shards him. He's gonna tag team. Inkswell will be there, but yeah, he times it perfectly. And Snapfire having an amazing start so far, which is kind of interesting. And I think that's to do with this Tusk. He's absolutely zoning out this Grimstroke. Oh, looks like Snapfire in a bit of trouble here. There's the slow. Oh, huge amounts of damage through. Fairy Fire being popped, but this should be a dead Snapfire, and indeed it is. Very nicely done. Oh, and we see an Evoker go down mid, but it looks like Meow. Fairy Fire? Fairy Fire? Oh no, oh no. He will fall as well, but that's not a bad trade at the end of the day. And we see Clockwork actually being chased out of there. I mean, interesting start to this game. 2-2, not much between these guys. You know, that's kind of what I expected after this series. You know, not much between them, as they're such good teams and so competitive. But yeah. Alrighty, it looks like things are back to normal. Slark having a pretty good game. Lifestealer having a reasonable game after bringing down that Snapfire. So most of the cores in this game having pretty good games. I think Snap is going to struggle as they get levels on the Grimstroke and the Lifestealer. Tusk is being a bit cheeky getting that wave, but I think yeah, Grimstroke is there ready to stop this. He's going to stun him up. Oh, Invoker going down again. I think he just got arrowed. Yeah, he must have got arrowed there as we see a bit of a fight here. Red still going on this Grimstroke. Snapfire here. There should be, yeah, there we go. Cookie. Oh, unfortunately, the Solve's going to work there as they manages to get out of there. But yeah, very interesting one. this mid lane is actually going surprisingly bad for this Invoker. I mean, he's died twice now, losing in the last hits here. I'm not 100%. I mean, I think he's just getting arrowed heavily here. I mean, obviously 3 points in Starstorm, which is probably doing most of the damage here. But I think Slark's having a good game, so you know he can potentially shift things off here. As we do see, he's just trying to hunt down these Eidolons. But they got to be careful. I mean, Invoker's unfortunately 2 levels behind this Mirana, which is a bit of a challenge. I mean, that's a scary thought. Oh, is he going to throw the arrow? No, he's not. He does have a DD though, so he could potentially deal with this. He's thinking about the arrow. The Forge Spirit dies. There is a Tusk hanging around here, but yeah. I think Mirana's going to do the right thing and just back out of there. Alrighty, let's see. Lifestealer has got the phase boots up. I think Snap's got to be super careful here. I think, you know, Grimstroke with level 2 Inkswell, I mean, it's going to be tough for you to escape that as he just cookies. He's used his cookie now, though, but does get some good harass onto this Lifestealer. Alrighty, we do see Slark is going for that treads. Kind of like that. Has to tank up a bit here. You know, he has to survive black holes. He's got to survive a bunch of stuff. Oh, as we see Grimstroke going down bot, just Tusk being super good, but it looks like Snapfire is getting initiated on here, but they might actually just turn, but actually no, it looks like Snap's in a lot of trouble. There is some shards coming up shortly. The slow's there, the rage is there. Can he shards him out? He does shards him out, but he's stuck in with the Lifestealer, and I think he should be able to just walk it off. I mean, nice kill, but Lifestealer is, oof, he's raid bossing right now. We haven't seen too much of the Clockwork. He's been super passive. I mean, this is a hard lane to deal with, hard lane to kill. The cogs are there, cogs in both of them. It looks like Abba's in a lot of trouble, but Clockwork might actually just want to get out of there, as he will get left on and he will go down, and there's lots of agi stacks onto the Slark, and he's probably just going to bring down Enigma, as it looks like he will, but he might go down as well. Oh, he got his ulti, but unfortunately didn't have mana for it, and that's I mean, look, that's 2 agi stacks, so that's nothing to scoff at. But he dies. He dies. I mean, he's still having... Oh, arrow coming through. Just picks up the Forge Spirit. I mean, Invoker, he's 3 levels behind now, as Mirana just actually... He's just actually just going to run right through the wave and actually just get him. I mean, this is a challenge. This Mirana is absolutely scary right now. Going for phase boots, has two Wraith Bands as well. Level 8, 4 points in Starstorm. I mean, he could just leave. I mean, he's going to take this mid tower already. I mean, it's 7.5 minutes in. He's 2 levels ahead of Invoker and takes the tier 2s. We see a bit of initiation here into Clockwork. There is a Solve as well, so he will get out of there. As it looks like Enigma is going to be the one that they go on. There is a stun coming through, but he's just going to want to eat up all these Eidolons here. And, you know, I think Slark's going to have to start doing quite a bit of work, as we see that the Mirana is here. Abba in a lot of trouble. And in fact, it looks like they are going to actually start initiating here. It looks like, yeah, Mirana's just going onto the Abba, and that should be all she wrote for Abba, unfortunately, and potentially Slark here. As we see Slark, juking around, in a lot of trouble here. He's going to pop the Dark Pact. He does deny the... Oh, the arrow lands. Oh, but he's trying to get out of there. He's trying to eat his way into there. But he is just going to fall. Mirana popping off there, finding the double kill in top lane. But Invoker getting some space now. I mean, he needs the space. He's gone for a bit of a greedy build here, going for the Exhort build. Does have a point in Wex and 2 in Quas. So... we see Snapfire in a lot of trouble, does cookie, but it looks like that Inkswell is going to land. Oh man, he's in so much trouble. He should go down there, yeah. Oh man, these lanes unfortunately for Invertus are starting to fall here, but here Invoker finding a huge stack here. Obviously, I think Abba just doing some work there. Or potentially he was stacking that for himself, not 100% sure. But yeah, it looks like Slark rotating into bottom, top. Looks like Abba's just going to do his job there, defend that, but he's in a lot of trouble here without ulti. Seems like there's a rotation from Tusk. Oh, and Snap here. Can he survive here? Does try to get the shield off. He's trying so hard. He gets the shield off, but it's going to pop, and I think he's in trouble. But the Mortimer Kiss is coming out, and it looks like... yeah. They found the Enigma, but not, unfortunately, the Clockwork. But that's probably the better pick off. As we see a bunch of rotations here. Lifestealer rotating here. He doesn't want any of this Slark, and I think that's probably a good decision. Slark will just steal all his Agi. Oh, we see initiation here. Snap in a lot of trouble. Snap really doesn't want to be wherever this Lifestealer is, as we see a bit of initiation here. I think Tusk should be going down here. I don't think his teammates... Oh, we see Invoker going down as well, as it looks like Tusk is going to go down. And things falling apart here for Invertus. I mean, unfortunately, they're just not winning in any of these lanes right now.
The prize is mine.
Tribute to my
Man, Murano getting that Javelin, gonna do a lot of damage here. They do bring down... Oh, they haven't brought down top lane just yet. It looks like... Yeah, Slark, whoa, Slark going down there, and oh, they committed Black Hole, man. Unfortunately, his solo killed him. He's even going for the Necro book, so they should be able to push this game out very quickly. As we see the Latatag Matatags coming out. Oh man, this is so unfortunate. Invertus just struggling in these lanes right now.
Tiger's top tower's under attack.
Haste.
Oh man, you see the... I mean, Moran is rotating into the jungle here, but there's no heroes here. He might rotate onto this Invoker though. And Invoker, unfortunately, if he dies again, that is going to be so unfortunate. Yeah, it looks like he's just getting his item. He's going to rotate through. Can he land the arrow? I don't think Invoker is going to suspect this. The arrow comes out. It's going to land on the Forge creep. But yeah. I mean, this is a bit unfortunate. Alrighty, let's see what they can do. Slark is going for that Echo Saber, which is quite a standard build. I don't think he will go so... Oh, we see initiation onto Murano. Murano, unfortunately, it just has enough leaps to just get all the way out of there. Oh, the arrow lands on the Invoker, and he should actually fall here. There's no snowball to save him, unfortunately. And, ooh, I mean, that's a tough one. I mean, yeah, unfortunately, this Invoker just doesn't have a game right now. As we see a bit of initiation here, Snapfire, oh man, Snap is also having a bit of a tough lane as well. He'll fall to the Grimstroke, and I think a lot of this is falling onto the Slark right now to bring this back. Indecent. I mean, he's getting close to that Echo Saber. He's got a few Agi stacks already. I mean, he needs some levels, needs some damage. Unfortunately, they're losing towers as well, as Clock has level 6. They actually don't have a lot that synergizes with Grimstroke ulti though. I mean, double open wounds could be cool. Obviously double silence, double... Oh man, Invoker's in a lot of trouble. He gets cogsed in there. The Mortimer Kisses are there though. They do pop the Invis though, and it looks like Invoker will get his own Invis off as well. As it looks like Snap's in a lot of trouble, is trying to get out of here. Does get shielded up, and it looks like Tusk is on his own in the backline, and Abba in a lot of trouble. The Snowball is there. Can they turn this? It looks like Clockwork will fall, but the Abba is going to fall as well. And I think they could actually bring down Mirana here. They do indeed. That's a huge kill for them. And maybe they can find some more here. I mean, that's another Agi stack. A big kill going to Snapfire. In fact, let's see what Snap is going for a 4-star. I think that's good against the cogs. And obviously dealing with that Lifestealer. Alrighty. Sorry guys, just need to sort out my headset quickly. It seems like it is dying a bit here on me. Alrighty, that should be sorted. We do see... I heard a Sunstrike coming out. Not 100% sure where that was out. But it looks like Enigma is prepping for this bottom lane. He's got his Necro books up. They get the arrow onto the Slark. He should be able to ulti here. Should he? Yeah, he gets it off. But it looks like Abba... Oh, the hook shot onto the Slark. But he's trying to get out of there. Oh, man. Look at the damage, though. He's doing a lot of damage to this clock, but he will fall as well as the Abba. Oof, man, this Mirana just doing so much work as they are pushing top. You see the lifestealer does have that armlet and going for that Sunge next, so yeah, could be interesting. Invoker has rotated top. They should be able to defend this tower. I mean, they have black hole up. They could potentially play for this. The arrow comes through. Oh, not quite onto the Abba. As I mean, we have all the heroes from the Dire rotating here. In fact, they have hookshot up shortly. They've got black hole. They've got Mirana ult. They should finish up this tower as well. Oh, but there's an initiation coming through. It looks like they're gonna go onto the Enigma. The Enigma gets should pop. He does pop, and it looks like the cogs are going onto the Tusk, but he might be the one that's oof. Oh man, they're changing targets. They want to go into this Invoker, but they need to be careful here. Yeah, not a bad trade. They get the Enigma, they lose the Tusk, but that's the kind of trades they need to bring this game back. Oh yeah, he's going for the Sunge and Yasha build. Didn't see that the Yasha was actually on his way. That's a very strong build. Super huge amounts of physical damage with that armlet, and obviously he becomes a speedy boy with that Sunge and Yasha. Alrighty, let's have a look at this clockwork. He is queuing up that Solar Crest. Yeah. I mean, that's going to be very good at bringing down these heroes. They've obviously got a lot of physical damage coming from this Lifestealer and this Mirana. Mirana opting to go for the Manta. Manta obviously very good. Obviously there's an Abba Silence. What else would you... I mean, Manta's not... I mean, obviously Manta has your movement speed. It has your agi. It obviously helps you push lanes. But it doesn't debuff a hell of a lot in this game. Oh man, Invoker getting rotated on. The Abba and the Tusk are here. They've got their saves. The arrow coming onto the Abba. Abba in a lot of trouble. He's going to get leapt on. Ulti will be forced out. They do get the snowball. They're bringing them all in. All the leaps conceded there. And in fact, they're going to get the Abba. Oh, the hook shot there. The Cog's going to push them apart, in fact, as does connect further down the line. And Abba's going to be the one that falls, and Lifestealer's just running there, trying to find someone to go on, as we see that the Lifestealer in a lot of trouble. He actually falls, but it looks like Invoker's going to fall as well, but that's a very big kill on the Lifestealer there. I think just overestimating how much damage they had. Alrighty, but we see Slark does have that Echo Saber up. He is going Silver's Edge. Obviously there are some passives for him to break, mostly just the Lifestealer. Actually it's just the Lifestealer, but nevertheless, it is a good item. Gives you attack speed, gives you damage. Obviously, you have the invis and the break. So I'm alright with that. We see the Tusk going down here. It looks like the Mortimer Kisses are committed. But I think Snap is in a lot of trouble here. Oof. Yeah, this is a bit of a tricky one here. We do see a rotation in top. There is a Blink Dagger on this Enigma, which is quite interesting. They should potentially make a rotation on this, as they see that the Enigma is TP'd out, as we do see the Slark is rotating in, potentially committing an arrow here. It looks like they're trying to go into this Mirana. The cookie there, it just doesn't land, as we see the cogs just stopping them from going any more there. I think Mirana should have a leap, is out of leaps now, but I mean, it's alright. I think, you know, they slowed the game down. They're getting some farm on other heroes. The Tusk is actually picking up these Necro Book creeps. It's about 100 gold he just scored there. I mean, he needs that blink. You know, he's got to stop these arrows. You know, unfortunately, you know, Abba's had a bit of a tough game. So, you know, he's struggling to get into positions to defend these heroes. As we do see the Slark is actually very close to that Echo Saber, is level 14, so he should be coming back, but this Lifestealer has finished up his own item, Sunge and Yasha, going for that Basher. And that's going to be scary. I mean, Invoker's going to have a hard game. He's got his Yules, or he's almost got his Yules, he has his 4-stops, he's got the utility, but I mean, when that Abyssal comes out, he's in a lot of trouble. Unfortunately, he's had to go for a non-greedy build here. But he's committed to Exhort, which is a bit of a challenge. But you know, if he can get that Ags up, you know, Cataclysm, you know, that kind of stuff is a game changer. Obviously, he can get a lot of levels into his Quas and Wex. Just help him out with those ice walls, and obviously, definitely Blast is going to be a big deal for Mirana. As we see, Mirana was going for this Manta. Should actually has the Manta up already, as he's looking for a play here. It looks like Snap's going to be the one that's in trouble as they rotate. Oh, it's Slark. Sorry, no, Slark's in trouble here. Does pop the Q. Is going to have to get out of here. Pops his ulti, but he's in so much trouble. Jukes into the trees. The hook shot is there. The arrow misses, but the silence is there, and the damage should be there to follow, as he's going to probably get brought down. He does go down. Oh man, unfortunately just not seeing them rotate around. Did have an inclination. Oh, we see a bit of ignition. Looks like Clock is in a lot of trouble here. The Sunstrike is there. Oh, just misses. Force Staff coming through, but it looks like the arrow is going to land. Can they debuff the arrow? They can debuff the arrow. They end up bringing down the Clockwork, which is pretty good. And in fact, it looks like Mirana's in the one in trouble here going down. And it looks like Lifestealer might even... Oh, Enigma, Black Hole catching two of them. Invoker going to go down. And it looks like Snapfire as well. Oh man, Lifestealer just running through them now. Brilliant Black Hole catching the Invoker there. As it looks like, oh man, Lifestealer finding another one, and he's not done yet. He wants this this ABBA, but I don't think he's gonna get it. Oh man, a bit of a challenging spot here for Invertus. It looks like they're going onto this Lifestealer. Lifestealer will just rage it off. I mean, you know, Slark should be able to take out the Lifestealer in the later stages of the game, but unfortunately it's only 21 minutes in the game. They need to find the space, potentially find some towers and some good pickoffs. Okay, so we see that the Slark is not going to finish off that that Silver's Edge just yet. I don't think he needs to. He just needs the Invers, which is a good decision. We see Snap is going for that Ags, almost there. In fact, Tusk going for Blink. So another interesting one. Let's see what this Mirana is going for next. Yeah, BKB. Okay, I like that. No more issues with Invoker. You know, obviously you can, if you get leaped, you can just BKB and either man fight or just try and get out of there. Alrighty, looks like things are actually stabilizing a bit for the side of Invertus. I think the side of Meepo Gaming should apply some pressure here. I don't think they can let them farm like this, as we see they are grouping up here. I think they were looking potentially to smoke. Okay, they popped the Mirana ulti. That is an interesting one. I think Snap, unfortunately, is probably going to be on the receiving end. Here comes the arrow. The arrow is going to... Oh, he jukes it. Very nice from Crimson Knight. Oh, he blinks, he gets stunned, is able to force out there, but the hook shot is there. But what a tornado! Oh man, and they just drums to get out of there. Yeah, I mean, oh, they committed a lot there. As we see Lifestealer and Slark just both in the side. Yeah, I mean, Slark can probably just actually man up to him. Oh man, he's taking a lot of damage there. He is going to regen up and just go back in. I think, you know, you're going to get all that agi. Should be able to... Oh, he's got to be careful. The Lifestealer... he's got to get out of here. I mean, Clockwork's here. Oh, yeah, he should be able to leap out of there. There's no hook shot. Or they're going to pop drums. I mean, he should... Yeah, he should be able to get out of there. Leap is there. He debuffs the open wounds and forces the rotations. And I mean, they're just farming now. I mean, Invoker has his Yules. He's got level 16. I mean, you know, Abba's probably still got nothing, unfortunately. Almost has 4 staff, though. And Tusk should have Blink up soon. Alrighty, let's see what they can do here. It looks like Enigma has got the mech up. He's got his Blink. He only has level 1 Necro. I mean, he doesn't... Oh, Snapfire's in a lot of trouble. What an arrow landing on Snap. And yeah, Snap is just going to get melted there. Oh man, we're seeing a hook shot coming through. It looks like they were going onto the Invoker. Invoker in a lot of trouble here. He uses himself up. There is a snowball, but the arrow is there. The Deafening Blast will pick up the Grimstroke, but oh, Okay, Black Hole picks up Tusk. I mean, 3 for 1. I mean, Black Hole aren't just the Tusk, but still good at the end of the day. Good fight for them, picking up 3 for 1. Slock is still farming up though. He's going for Heaven's Halberd, which is quite an interesting one.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Alrighty, it looks like they are just going to pick up this tier 2. I don't think they're going to defend this. And Slock just trying to relieve some pressure here, but he's getting wrapped on. Oh, the hook shot's there, but he does cancel it. And oh, he should be able to get out there. And he does have Sanju. That should give him a lot of tankiness, survivability, and allow him to trade better. Essentially, deal with this lifestealer. As we saw him try earlier, unfortunately, oh, he spots lifestealer as well. He could potentially try for this as well. It looks like the bash is there, though. The dust is there. Are they going to try and go for this? I think he's a fast boy. The tornado's there. They should be able to catch him. It looks like Enigma's there. There's no black hole though, and yeah, okay, he just jumps inside of him. And I think they're gonna get out and turn this. It looks like Tuscan's in a lot of trouble. Abba's in a lot of trouble. Invoker drops. Mortimer Kisses are coming down, but not finding anyone. And I think that should be another 3 heroes going down. Yeah, I think it's going to take a lot of work for Abba to get out. He gets hook-shotted. I think Lifestealer just takes him out. Snapfire does have Ags, though. That's kind of an interesting one, as we see they are just actually hunting him down. But he should... Yeah, he's going to TP out of there. Alrighty. Oof, things looking a bit rough for Invertus right now. As it does look like Meepo Gaming are just trying to push out these last couple of towers. You know, obviously they can potentially Roche. I don't think they can be contested specifically when they have that black hole up, which is in 20 seconds. I mean, they might even commit to this high ground, as it looks like Lifestealer's, he's had enough. He's got his Basher, he's got his Hyperstone. He wants to just go ham here. But they do need to be careful though. I mean, you know, as we see, you know, Invoker's pretty good high ground. Wow, look how many creeps they got. I mean, they just grieves it. The glyph comes out and oof. I mean, hook shot coming through. It looks like they're gonna. Oh, have they found anyone? Oh, they're going on Slog. Do they have detection? They do have detection. He leaps up, but he can't debuff that silence as he just hits it. I'm not sure how he got stunned there, but he needs backup. He needs his team here. Marana leaps in. Oh, trying to run, but he's not gonna escape there. And it looks like Tusk is in a lot of trouble, gets bashed up, and will snowball into the right direction, but okay, he will get out of there. And in fact, he gets swallowed and shot to base. Oh boy. Alrighty, I mean, they're going to struggle to deal with this push. I mean, they're just melting this tower, the rage comes through. I mean, he just wants to hit buildings. He's had enough. I mean, Abba, oh my word, Abba just absolutely getting destroyed. Mortimer Kiss is coming through, unfortunately not doing too much damage, as it looks like they're the ones doing the initiating. Tusk does get the snowball, they do move out of there, and Invoker gets arrowed there. And unfortunately, he's in a lot of trouble here. The Yules does come up. Tusk trying to do what he can. Oh, but the black hole catching all of them pretty much. And it looks like Invoker going down, Abba going down, the buybacks coming through, Snaps down as well. And, oof, man, this is looking rough as, I mean, they're just continuing with the Raxes here. I mean, I think they've had enough. They're like, we've played 3 games, guys. We are, oh, the arrow landing. Marana trying to go into Invoker. Wow, the damage is insane. I don't think Abba has ulti there. He doesn't. But it looks like Slock is in trouble here, as he gets bashed up. In fact, he's trying to get out of there, but the leap is unfortunately into the Enigma. I mean, that's unfortunately diebacks coming through, and GG is called. What a series, guys. Oof, man, Meepo Gaming have an absolutely beast of a game, number 3. But that is it. That is the best of 3 round. That was an upper bracket match, so Meepo Gaming will be proceeding to the next stages of the upper bracket, and Invertus will move down into the lower bracket. for their they'll still have a chance to fight in this tournament, but unfortunately not in the upper bracket. But well done to both teams. They did extremely well, put in some PogChamp performances. I mean, Invertus did extremely well game 1, but Meepo Gaming started to find their rhythm towards the end of that. And I think a huge shout out to the teams. I know the work they put in. It's a lot of work. They really want to improve, and it is showing. But guys, it has been a long stream, a long series, so I'm going to be calling it and ending the stream. But thank you if you tuned in and stayed and watched those matches. It was awesome having you guys here and watching, and we'll see you guys in the next stream. Enjoy the rest of your evening.